Alrighty, today I'm joined with the owners of Eternal Bloom. Am I saying that right? Eternal
Yes,
Bloom?
sir. Yep.
Perfect. Anais
Yes.
and Drew.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hey, thank you so much for coming out. I really appreciate you
Thanks
guys.
for having
Thank
us.
you.
Yeah.
Pleasure.
Yeah, and if you guys, can we start off by like having just like talk about what Eternal Bloom is, and then kind of talk about how you guys got to it?
Of
Yeah,
course.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
So, whichever one of you want to lead off. It don't
Okay.
matter, yeah.
It's a very diverse business, to be honest, but it mainly revolves around sustainability, community, health, wellness, regenerative farming, just kind of all-encompassing homesteading, sustainability, working with the soil, being good stewards of our land and our community and our people and this earth.
Yeah.
It's a gift, and we feel very strongly called to come back to the soil and root down is a fun phrase. Basically just means to go back to our roots.
Yeah.
You know, I think everybody kind of feels a big need and something missing, and we feel like figuring out that missing piece in our life was creating Eternal Bloom.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. Well, and
Yeah.
then like working with the soil and stuff. I mean, they talk
Yeah.
about how healthy that is for you to
It
be
is.
working with the soil and get your hands in the soil every
Mhm.
day. And like and we talked about this on the phone actually.
Yeah.
You get so insulated with just like your shoes and
Yep.
and gloves and all that stuff, you know. So you're not
Yeah.
really getting that connection. Yeah.
Yeah, all the microbes, and
Yeah.
you know, we have a microbiome in our stomach,
Yeah.
and it's a symbiotic relationship to nature. You know, the same microbes and enzymes and everything going on in our guts, kind of similar in the soil.
Yeah.
And you know, it's we're the counter opposites of each other. You know, so we help produce waste. Well, we're supposed to help produce healthy waste for the soil and build the soil, and then the soil gives us plants, and the plants give us their waste to, you know, benefit us. We kind of reciprocally benefit each other.
Yeah.
What we're supposed to in that root down type system.
Totally. And
Right.
I saw you guys put something up on Instagram the other day that was about like, was it no-till by using
Yeah.
worms?
Yeah,
That was cool. I thought that was really
Exactly.
interesting.
Yeah, I posted that.
Yeah.
You know, I prefer to work with nature, like Andrew was saying, and
Yeah.
why not let the worms do the work for you?
Mhm.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
yeah, and then the worms, like they open up the soil a little bit, right? And then what the worms passes through the worms, they put back into the soil is more fuel, right?
Yep, vermicompost.
Vermicompost.
Yep,
Yep.
vermicompost.
Yeah, the poop, yeah.
Yep, worm
Yeah.
poop is
Yeah, worm poop.
fancy. Vermicompost, fancy word for worm poop.
Oh,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
cool.
And they help till. They help. You know, they're also eating. You know, different bacteria and pathogens and different, you know, junk, so to speak,
Oh.
in the soil, and helping clean and purify the soil.
Natural filters.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Exactly
that's super
right.
cool. Man, you
Yep.
guys.
So instead of going out and buying, you know, $20, $30, $40 a bag for vermicompost, you can have the worms there doing it on site. So it's on-site vermicomposting
Oh,
is
yeah.
kind of the no-till term for it. And I'm going to be honest, you know, if it's really compacted, the soil is really compacted and dense, and it's really hard to get it going. So you could use a broad fork.
Oh.
And a broad fork basically just aerates and opens up the soil. And then you can add the worms and mulch and compost and animal products and, you know, rotational grazing methods. There's a lot. It's kind of overwhelming and amazing how much stuff really goes into it. But
Yeah, and you guys
Yeah.
probably like. I mean, you guys sound like you're really good at your craft already. But you guys probably keep improving and be like, oh, you know, read something, and you're like, oh
Yeah.
man, I'll add that to the mix. you
always
know?
learning. Yeah, we're never done.
So important, man.
Yeah. You know, never done learning, never done experiencing. Life's an adventure, you know, and
Yeah.
love is the key. I like adventure agents. We have, you know, kiddos and stuff, and they watch Adventure Agents, and
Oh, yeah,
that's
gotcha.
kind of their saying. Life's an adventure, and love is the key, and it's so true.
Oh, I totally agree,
So
man.
true.
And
Yeah.
lifelong learners and all that
Mhm.
stuff, you know. And
Yeah, always keep that inner child spirit, you know, instead of go away. It's no, you can learn with us. You could be there with us and stay creative and stay hungry and excited at all the beauty of nature and everything going on, instead of just, oh, I got this figured out. It's like, no, we might know
Yeah.
a good start.
yeah,
We might know the good start, but we don't know it all. And that's, I think, part of the start is saying, okay, I don't know it all, and every minute I'm going to learn and you know, be humbled by this beautiful earth and
Yeah.
and our community and everything going on. It's really fun.
yeah, absolutely. That's a
Yeah.
great approach to life, man. I try to
Yeah.
do the same. And I had a fella that I had him on the podcast, August Shield, and when I first met him, he's like, "How old are you?" I was like, "Oh, I'm 37." He's like, "No way." He's like, "You're too spunky for 37." I was like, "Wow."
That's
not
an
a bad
awesome.
thing.
Yeah,
That's honestly, I was like proud of that. I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
thanks, man. You know, try to stay
Yeah.
young. You know,
It's humbling, definitely.
Keeps you alive.
Yeah.
So you guys started on Internal Bloom to help people out, or I mean, so it's almost like it sounds like sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off already.
No.
But it sounds like it's kind of like twofold, right? Like you guys are doing it to help folks, but then also help yourselves, like with a healthier lifestyle.
Yeah, of course. Well, so we've always kind of been into this since I guess I can remember, and
even before I met Andrew, I was always doing skincare and body care. It actually, you know, I went more advanced into this craft because of the ailments that he had. I mean, and he had, and his mother, you know, she has rheumatoid arthritis. So the salve that I create was for her. And she was like, well, this is amazing. You need to sell it for my friends. Like, give some to my friends. And so I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
It was kind of more organically than forceful, right?
Yeah, totally, man. That's funny. So I want to say my mom had rheumatoid in one of her hands.
Yeah.
You know, and
my mom had the claw hands.
That's what she was starting to get. It was weird as only was it one or two? Both hands?
Both hands,
really?
but more on her right hand, her dominant hand, you know.
We
take a lot of abuse sometimes. Just working so hard to keep up with fast pace of life, and we definitely need some extra support from nature and
totally, man. I mean, my mom's was so rough that she had to take like a oral chemo and like put her down for a while. So I know she would have loved having something different, you know, versus like taking that hard chemo, you know, or like booming in the mic. I know you guys.
No, you're fine. I was just making sure I'm getting good vocals there.
Yeah, for sure. I know I'm always like fidgeting with it, but you guys sound great. You guys are doing good.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, and then so that was kind of the start. Was Kieran, your husband, here, and then you guys just kind of kept the ball rolling there.
Yeah, you know, he has Crohn's, and I always wanted to. I'm like, there has to be a natural way.
Yeah.
You know, we were at the hospital seeing doctor specialist after specialist, and nothing was working. Yeah, I'm like, you're turning into a pincushion.
Yeah,
they're just trying to like take blood out, you know, and then I'm a nurse, so I understand, you know, this is all protocol, this is what needs to be done, but there has to be, I just knew that there was a more natural way that we could, you know, like see this through.
Well, I mean, it wasn't working for me, and everybody's so unique and different, you know, even a different year car, same, you know, Toyota Highlander 2003 to a 2012 needs different parts. How would we expect everybody needs the exact same treatment, exact same thing?
Yeah, we all come from different backgrounds. We were talking like with even trying to get your diets, you know, figured out for your ancestors. You know, like if you like could know exactly like where your bloodline was, might help. You know, like, especially with us with the autoimmune. And then like you said with the pincushion thing, kind of too. You know, like if it's you just kind of get more stuff in you, and it starts to have what's the effect like where it's like diminishing return. You know, is the word I was looking for. Like. And it's not
causing
good for
more
long-term.
bad than good.
A little rougher, you know. And I think I think it was even a physician saying that, you know, like Western medicine is really good. You know, like you're not gonna have like a naturopath do surgery on you. I don't think, at least that I've heard of. You know, but like if you have something that needs surgery, you know, Western medicine or some other kind of problem, definitely. But it's like one tool in the toolbox, you know, versus like what you guys have is another tool in the toolbox. You know,
I
sometimes
agree.
it's needed,
like,
but
like the way that I've noticed with Western medicine is it is always symptoms. Let me treat your symptoms, not really get down to the root cause of what is causing this. And what I've noticed is that, you know, with Ayurvedic medicine, just an example, you know, they take the whole body as a whole, even your mind, body, and spirit. And your environment around you and how it affects us, and it does. And so, you know, even changing your diet, your lifestyle, there has to be certain things that has to be done that Western medicine I don't think focuses on. Great. It's great. I love emergency room, you know, our emergency room responders. They are like a whole different breed. And
totally special person.
I adore them. I love them.
Huge need for emergency services.
Yes, they are needed. And so like Western ER is, yes, thank you. We need that.
Absolutely.
But the doctor part with the
they're doing more preventative than symptom treating and pill pushing and that type of, you know.
And the time, right? Like they, you know, like so many patients, you only have so much time with them in a day. So I mean, I couldn't imagine like trying to digest, you know, one person and then like 30 minutes another person and trying to like,
It's hard.
yeah, because like for me, if I got a problem, like I got to sit on it for a minute and be like, all right, like even if I got a good solution, I might be like, well, there could be something else there. But then you don't have time if you got to be like, all right, who's, on to, Mr. or Mrs. or whoever, And
Yeah, I was a nurse since I was 18.
Oh, wow.
In California.
Yeah.
That's how I really began. Like, I always wanted to help people. I just didn't know how.
Yeah.
I'm very shy. I'm very like quiet. So it takes a lot for me to get me out of my shell. But with medical and with helping people, it's just like, okay, I can do this. But it's just lacking that empathy, I feel.
Yeah, a little bit, because it's like you don't have time for it, which is, I'm not blaming them. Like, I don't think any of us are. It's just like just part of the machine right now.
Yeah.
They're understaffed. I feel like.
They definitely are understaffed and overwhelmed. It's definitely increasing in autoimmune issues and different issues and.
Yeah, well, that's why what you guys do, I think, is amazing, and I think hopefully it seems like everyone, in our generation is kind of seeing that there's this need, and it can all, it's all part of it, like it takes many tools to build a house. So it's like, there's room for everybody is what I'm trying to say.
Definitely,
I guess,
that's
Exactly.
totally true. I mean, if the table's set for 10, hey, scoot over, let's fit in another chair, you know what I mean? Yeah, we could definitely put another table on the end of there.
Yeah.
Yes, you can sit with us.
Yeah,
Yes,
definitely.
Yes, you can.
yeah, exactly. Totally.
Yeah.
And even what you guys do too, I mean,
Yeah.
you guys can cover a pretty good area, but like, even just folks might even be doing the same thing as you guys. It's like,
There's
We're all
room for all. We
different.
can't get to
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah.
There's so many people in this world and within this valley and the communities around us that, we all have our part to play. We all have our gift.
Yeah.
It's like the corner piece of the puzzle getting mad at the other puzzle pieces for not being the corner puzzle piece, and all those puzzle
point.
pieces make up the puzzle, It's really silly. Or like the hand's mad at the foot.
Yeah.
It's like, no, it's not like that at all. We're all interconnected. We're all brothers and sisters and cousins and nephews and niece, whether you believe in pure science or the other direction. I mean, both kind of point that we're all stemming from a similar source, right?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, man. And I mean, like, not to get too crazy on the stuff, but like the love cures it all too. Like there's no better cure than just having compassion for your fellow, person.
Totally right. And
We can get all weird and talk about love frequency, but
somatics and maybe another time. But
yeah, I mean, we can definitely do a couple of these. 'Cause I feel like you guys got a ton of info that like be useful for folks. To hear.
Definitely. Yeah, and so along the way, I kind of have been into farming and gardening since I can remember. My dad and me, it was just our thing. We would go out in the garden almost every day since I can remember, like crawling, and he'd show me dig little holes, and he was, really cool. And he did vermicomposting and worm gardening and diatomaceous earth and, fish scraps and, different composting methods and stuff like that. So I'm very fortunate to have his guidance and background, and big shoes to fill, definitely. But and it just kind of went from there. And like she said, my whole life kind of just wanted to play my part in helping people out. And I've always been really interested in food. I went through culinary school and business management, and my whole kind of idea was a farm to table event community center with a farm on site. And then I realized how expensive it was going to be, and I was like, dang, I don't know if I want these big shot investors and all this crazy stuff. And
and they might change your product a little bit.
Yeah, definitely agree. Not exactly the quality and the mindset and energy, that we would want. So
yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah, so I eventually got into after restaurants, somehow got into office jobs, and that's how I got sick with my Crohn's disease. Maybe the stress or the bad food of office jobs and doing that thing. It's not meant for everybody.
No.
And some people do great in office jobs, and some people don't, right?
Yeah, it makes like folks like us. I mean, at least I think maybe I'm speaking for you, but like like it makes me appreciate them more because like I can't do it. Yeah.
To each their own, right?
Yeah.
That's free will. That's fair. Not everybody can do the same task, and
100%.
So it was one way or another. It was called back to the earth, and we went, okay, let's start farming and gardening, and we did a cool permaculture food forest, and
our very first one. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, it was a learning curve.
yeah, it was really fun. Yeah,
That's
we had
cool.
loquats and lemons and
I don't even know.
Dragon fruit, and loquats are like little tropical pears. And
Oh, I never heard of that.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
cool.
yeah. We're eventually gonna get them in this year, hopefully. But
Oh, cool. In
in
like
the-
your guys' hoop house?
in the Wallapini.
The Wallapini.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is either.
So Wallapini's a underground geothermal greenhouse.
Underground.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
a 8 foot deep and 8 foot above, so you can catch maximum sunlight. And it's positioned a very specific way. You
Oh.
get the east, south, and west walls to have light permeation into the greenhouse,
Yeah.
and then your north wall is fully insulated and a dark color, so it absorbs the passive solar energy and then
Oh.
radiates that solar energy back out into the greenhouse. We also have active geothermal lines as well,
Oh.
that are about 8 feet deep,
Yeah.
and they're filled with organic vegetable glycerin and water, and they have a transfer pump and everything, so it circulates, and a fan blowing it in, and yeah, it's really cool stuff.
Man, that is awesome. Yeah, you guys are doing
Yeah.
amazing things.
Yeah, well, we're trying. We're
Yeah.
not there yet, but the dream work makes the teamwork, or teamwork makes the dream work. Excuse me.
You go either way, I think. But yeah, I knew what you meant. And I saw you were talking about renting a tractor, and then I saw like all the excavating you guys were doing. Like,
Oh yeah.
not what in my head I'm thinking like, oh yeah, I'm more like picturing my garden, and then I saw like all the dirt moved in the picture that you guys posted. And I was like, wow, that's an operation.
That's actually that was almost a year ago.
Oh, really?
Seeing that picture, that was when we first broke ground. So that picture is 55 foot long, 35 foot wide by about 8 foot deep.
That hole.
Yeah,
Yeah.
perfect
Oh, really?
square, about that size, and then it's got a basically it's a sunken post frame building
Oh really?
with a full greenhouse roof.
Oh wow.
So you build the post frame building into the pit,
Oh, gotcha.
and then it becomes the Wallapini.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool, man.
Yeah, we've been studying it for quite a while. The South American people, Chile,
Indigenous.
Peru,
Mhm.
the Andes Mountains,
Oh really?
had a huge famine a while back. Don't remember the exact year, but probably had a few of them. But
Yeah.
some people got together and figured out, hey, if we berm into the side of the mountain, go down to Cajamarca, main cities down in Peru, Chile, and recycle scrap windows and glass and wood, and get a big group of people and haul it up here, and donkeys and the whole 9 yards, and they figured it out, and they built a structure. It's basically like a cave, right? A cave stays 55-ish to 75, depending. I mean, the closer
Yeah.
you get to the entrance, the more the temperature is going to change.
Yeah. It's fine. It's fine.
But it's basically that same method. So you're taking a cave, and cave heat, it's a geothermal
Yeah.
system, it's cave,
Mhm.
and putting a greenhouse roof on top of the cave.
Oh, cool.
And so then you can nearly grow anything, anytime, anywhere.
Oh yeah.
Of course, your water table needs to be lower than 8
Yeah.
feet,
Yeah.
or you need to berm. There's different options, right?
Yeah.
A lot of these systems are needs based.
Yep.
Totally.
They work. We're working with it, and they're working with us, right?
Yeah.
That symbiotic relationship is there for kind of all of these projects and all of these different systems, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's really
Yeah,
cool,
yeah.
man. And
Really
like
fun stuff.
figuring it out, and then like you said,
Yeah.
for the climate too, and for your location, that's
Yeah.
super important, man.
Yeah, definitely. Somebody by the river is going to have 4-foot water table,
Yeah.
5-foot water tables. You gotta,
Adjust accordingly.
yeah, exactly. It's all needs based.
Yeah, and then the hoop
Yeah.
houses that you're telling me about, that's just
Yeah.
is that kind of like just a smaller greenhouse, I guess?
Those are pretty big ones. They're
Oh, really?
1,800 square foot.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we have 2 of those. One's just pure lettuce, and it's all
Dang.
no-till, of course.
Yeah.
So it's all no-till. You basically keep building on top of the soil. You keep building up instead of tearing down and taking away.
Oh, really?
You let a lot of the plants decompose themselves. You're using companion plants, clover, alfalfa, sunflowers actually produce liquid carbon back into the soil.
Oh, dang.
There's a bunch of different stuff out there. Basil and cilantro and different herbs help increase yields. It's really fun getting into it
that's
all.
cool. So-
Yeah.
So when the basil and cilantro, and you said something else.
A bunch of different herbs.
Yeah, a bunch of different herbs.
It depends. Not all plants like each other, right? Just like humans and just like people and animals, and right, certain plants
Yeah.
go really well together, and certain
Companion
plants.
planting.
It's
Maybe.
companion planting.
Oh, that makes sense. And
Yeah,
then,
yeah.
So what you guys are saying, like when it after the season when it dies, that's when it fuels the next round of plants. Is that kind of how it works?
That's kind of what nature does. Nature
Yeah.
doesn't come in there and snip it all away and rip it apart and take it away and throw it in the trash bags. Nature kind of piles the snow on top, or puts the rain on top and smashes things down, and leaves fall down, and right, and so it's layering, it's lasagna layering, right? And there's greens and browns, and it's insulating the root systems, it's insulating the plants underneath it.
Yeah, that's a good point, because I was actually meant to ask you about that on the phone, actually, because they talk about like when they leave when you till up the soil and leave that bare layer, it's the sun actually is like killing all the good stuff, right?
Yeah, a bunch of beneficials.
Nitrogen lost in the air.
Oh, really?
Carbon, nitrogen, a lot of different stuff's going on when we're tilling. Also, there's fossil fuels being used. There's a lot of equipment being used. It's really expensive to buy these big tillers and rototill in, and it's a lot, time consuming.
Yeah.
Why not have plants and worms do it for us?
Yeah, totally. And probably get more healthy, because I think you kind of alluded to it too, but like and you guys would know more, but like nutrient dense yield, right? Like in the mass farming, I heard it's going down. So it's which I imagine is kind of like what you're talking about, the tilling and stuff. You're not getting without using the worms, you're not getting the same nutrient base, right?
Build the soil, not the plant.
Yeah.
So good point.
Plants are taking different nutrients that are being broken down by enzymes and different bacteria and protozoa and all. Elaine Ingram, Soil Food Web, will explain it a lot better. But
Elaine Ingram, you said?
Gotcha. There's a bunch of awesome people out there. One of my other idols, Masanobu Fukuoka. There's a ton of really cool people out there that are getting really, really deep into this stuff. But I'm just gonna kind of touch like very on the surface.
Yeah, totally, man.
Yeah, just scratch the surface a little bit. But yeah, it's all kind of going back into the soil instead of trying to strip it away. It's also erosion, right? If you don't have root systems and plants, and we cause the Dust Bowl.
Yeah.
Right?
The Dust Bowl. I wasn't even thinking that, dude. I was going to talk about fires, but the Dust Bowl too.
The same thing with fires, right? It's all, if you have plants there, they're going to create moisture. They're just naturally, right? And the root systems of the plants and the trees and everything are going to help hold the soil together.
Yeah.
Right? So if you have healthy soil, you're going to have healthy plants. You have healthy plants, you're going to have healthy animals.
Yep.
And we're part of that animal kingdom, whether we like it or not.
Totally, yeah.
We're living, I think they said 90% of all of our food comes from or on top of the soil. Oh, wow. So we should definitely care about our soil.
Yeah.
We should care what's inside it. And what's going on in it.
I was driving to Sula this winter for work, and it was super dark in the morning. In December, I think, so it was like shorter days. And I was listening to this podcast about this guy talking about the soil and how we're losing a lot of good healthy soil now. Like it's going away, and it's like, oh no, it's like a scary movie,
Just got to rebuild it. That's the fun part is we can steward it back.
Yeah.
The Dust Bowl was reversed.
Oh, true.
And Masanobu, the trees. Yeah, Masanobu Fukuoka actually has a book about reversing desertification.
Oh.
And I know some...
Desertification.
So it's the process of causing deserts, right?
Yeah.
And so we can reverse deserts.
Oh, man.
And what he does is he puts seeds in clay pellets. And
we do that. I love it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Seed bombs.
That is so cool.
They're called seed bombs. So they put just natural clay. I mean, we have clay all over the place, right? So you kind of sift out, there's a nice clay layer, or, go by the river and find a nice ball of clay and grab some clay. And you'd put seeds, multiple seeds, 50 different types or what have you, try to get as many native plants as he can. And he puts clay bombs together and throws them out there and, tries to water them a little bit, helps them out a little bit, right? They need some assistance. They're kind of dry and barren and lifeless, right? So we have to steward them back to life.
Oh, gotcha.
Right, where they're kind of like lifeline at that point. We already screwed it up. Better get it back going.
yeah, totally, man.
So and he actually found, after a year or so of loving it and giving it some love, all of a sudden different plants would sprout up, and then those plants would help other plants sprout up, and then those would bring different bacteria and different bugs and different nematodes and mites and all these different soil food web type systems start coming back alive, and they allow more moisture to be present. They allow more plants to be present, and they kind of companion onto each other. And
Oh,
you know,
man.
this plant provides shade, so this one can start growing up again. And
Yeah.
yeah, so it's reversing desertification. It's really fun stuff.
That is really fun stuff, man.
Yeah.
Especially because, like, you know, for me and maybe some other like layman folks who don't know what you guys know, it's like, well, I guess that's dead now because you know, there's nothing. You don't see anything like to like start like a starting point. You know, like there's no
Yeah.
foothold. You're like, well, just sand or you know, dried up dirt now. So to hear that, that's cool. That's really
Yeah, you can get some animals going. You know, certain animals can do better in worse climates than others, and
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
you get some animals together, and you know, maybe you don't have them out there long term, but maybe get them out there growing and you know, going and pooping and throw some hay and you know, kind of jumpstart it, right?
Yeah.
You know, car dies, you need to jumpstart it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Soil's dead, you need to jumpstart it a little bit, and it's also why we do modern,
Oh,
modern for you know, a lot of people they know it as either modern natural farming or Korean natural farming,
Yeah.
or probiotic farming. So you're creating probiotic superfood serums, I guess you could call them, or
And
tinctures or
this one here,
tonics.
hey?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
gotcha.
it. That's called a OHN in Korean natural farming, Oriental Herbal Nutrient.
Oh.
So it's both a plant stimulant, stimulates the plant's immune system, stimulates the soil's immune system, helps repel and kill off different, you know, pests and predators for the plant, and helps increase the healthy population of
gotcha.
nematodes and different stuff going on there, and helps aid the plant, and helps like aphids and different bugs. It's almost like a natural pesticide. There's like licorice and garlic and
Oh, really?
peppers and
It's fermented
bunch.
plants.
Yep.
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yep. And
That's
then,
crazy. The power there, you know?
Yeah.
And
Yep.
just knowing it.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
important because, like, you know, I mean, and we could go down this rabbit hole, and I don't really think we need to, but it's
Yeah.
something that we could definitely do later on too. Is like
Sure.
the kind of the lost knowledge that I think our generation, and maybe I don't know, maybe every generation feels this way, but I feel like we are the ones that are like kind of the gap between technology and then old technology. You know,
Yeah.
like of like that. You know, and if it isn't saved by folks like you, you know, I mean, it might not ever be saved. I mean,
Right.
unless it's written down somewhere and you can find it later on. You know,
You
so
know,
it's super important.
A lot of this knowledge isn't from us, and we're just kind of regurgitating it, and not maybe even doing it that well, but we're definitely trying.
Yeah, but I think that's how it helps stay, because you guys are like stewards. You know, like you guys
Yeah.
didn't come up with it, but you guys discovered it in your own way,
Yeah.
and then you guys are, you know, doing it in your own way too, which
Yeah.
also might be a help as well. You know,
Right. The
That's
guy's
super
name
cool.
for the Korean natural farming is Master Cho. I like to shout people out, no
Yeah,
problem.
absolutely.
Master Cho.
Master Cho.
Korean natural farming, it's CHO. But yeah, it's amazing. You know, it's a probiotic plant serum, and you can take waste from plants, and sometimes it takes 6 months and turning the pile, and this can be done in less than a month.
Oh wow.
So it's it's accelerated, right?
Yeah.
And you only need like a teaspoon or a tablespoon per gallon, and maybe once a week, twice a month. It's very powerful stuff.
Oh, gotcha. So
Yeah.
like for like folks like us, I just need like a teaspoon of that, and then a gallon of water.
Yeah, for the
Oh.
plants.
For the
for the plants.
I mean,
Oh.
you can drink it. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie. It's
edible.
It's edible. It's totally safe.
Oh, so I was confused earlier. I thought you were drinking this yourself for Crohn's.
You can
Oh.
no, but
Gotcha.
you really could, to be honest. I've
Yeah.
had my favorite ones like a banana or a mango.
Oh, really?
Those taste
yeah,
good.
yeah.
Those are natural sugars.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah, it's almost like a mango schnapps or something
really?
like that. Yeah,
A little bite to it.
yeah. Well, it does turn ethanol. It does have some ethanol in it a little bit.
Like fermentation. Like.
Yeah, because the
Yeah.
fermentation process, right?
Yeah.
So there's a sugar source, carbohydrate.
Yeah.
There's a plant source, and then there's probiotics like kimchi, right, or
Oh, yeah.
kombucha or
Yeah.
cheese. There's some fermentation going on there,
Yeah.
right? And there's byproducts of the fermentation, and this is just a whole. We don't cook off the alcohol or anything like that. It's stabilized basically.
gotcha.
So it can go long term. If somebody has an issue with alcohol, or their plants have an issue with alcohol, or they're not responding well, you could always purge off some of the alcohol or dilute it even further.
Oh, gotcha.
But in the ratios of a teaspoon or a tablespoon, it's such a low amount.
Oh, yeah.
Per gallon.
Yeah, I've got an
Yeah,
avocado
such a-
tree in my house, so like
yeah.
maybe like a teaspoon per gallon of water, and
Yeah, and
there's
there's
a little bit.
yeah, exactly. And there's different greens are like nitrogen boosters, right? Like
Fish?
alfalfa. Yeah, there's
fish.
fish, amino
Oh,
acids.
yeah.
That's an FAA,
It smells
fermented
delicious.
amino
The
acid.
fish, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, in your house, it's wonderful.
She hates
yeah.
it. She's get out.
Yeah, I bet.
Go do that stuff
outside.
in the shed or the
Yep.
barn.
Yeah, I bet, man.
Oh, it's raunchy. And if I spray it in the greenhouse or the hoop house or anywhere outside, I have to follow up with something nice after, or she gets me. Yeah.
Yeah, I understand.
I don't blame her. It's nasty stuff, but it's
Yeah.
the plants love it. You
It's
know.
good fuel red.
Yeah, well, some people will dig, holes or trenches and bury fish guts and fish scraps, and then put soil on top and plant on top of that. And it's
Yeah.
kind of the same thing, but it's accelerated, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, it
It's-
totally makes sense.
Yeah, and it's got more probiotics due to the fact of the fermentation process. It's an open, it's sealed slightly, but you'll have like cheesecloth or.
Oh,
It does have access to the air. There's microbes in the air and probiotics and everything, and a bunch of stuff going on in the air. That,
yeah,
just
give it
like,
the reaction that it
yeah,
needs.
yeah, exactly. So it's indigenous microorganisms, right?
Yeah.
So, where if you were to get a product from New York, it's going to have completely different microbiology than Montana.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is indigenous, meaning like local microorganisms.
Totally makes sense to me, man. Because I like my brain goes to like compare it to honey, like we talked about before. With like,
Yeah.
You get local honey for your allergies because
Yeah.
the honey's
Yeah.
most likely coming from pollen in the area, right?
Yes, and we actually do use honey sources.
Oh, really?
We try to get it from local folks around town and stuff like that. We used to do bees and apiary stuff, but
Yeah.
not yet. Maybe we'll get back into it soon.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah.
God, I mean, with all you guys got going on, I mean, that'd be a lot to do, but it'd
It
be super
is.
cool if you guys get it rolling.
Yeah, we're trying to get more help and get more people involved. We have a few people helping out here and there,
Yeah.
trying to help us get some steam on the engine.
Yeah, you grow the family a little bit, kind of like old school way to do it.
Yeah, grow the village. It takes a village to get most of the stuff done.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And
Yeah.
trying to make sure I'm not like redlining us when I keep talking. 'Cause,
Oh, you're good.
yeah, I've never done 3 folks before, as I talked to you guys
Gotcha.
earlier, so it's
Yeah.
different. Makes me a little
Well,
more.
we're honored that you have all of us here.
Well, I'm so glad to have you. Well, and you guys play off each other so well because you'll say something and then maybe you'll describe it or vice versa. Like so, I mean that's normal in conversation. Like if you're just kind of rolling
Yeah.
on something,
Mhm.
and then you have like a partner like you guys, like
Yeah.
and you guys do all the work together. So
We know.
She's
yeah,
my other
what's going
half.
on.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
could not do it without
I
her.
could not do
Definitely.
without you. Shoot.
yeah,
That's the symbiotic relationship of our business, right? She
Yeah.
does the stuff I can't do, and I do the stuff that she can't do.
and supporting each other along the whole way.
Support's huge.
Yeah, it
You
is
know.
huge, man. Like I don't know, like you see a lot of successful folks that are like doing it on their own. I'm like, man,
That's a lie.
I think that's a
yeah.
lie.
I think that's a
don't know
lie.
how they could do it
Yeah.
on their own.
I don't think that's
Yeah.
possible.
I don't think so either. I remember as a really young kid, like it seemed like it wasn't like a lot of equality even like when we were young, like in the 90s and stuff. And I remember like saying like behind every great man's a great woman. And then like as you get older, you hear these stories of even like presidents that had like really strong wives. You're like,
Yeah.
first ladies. And you're like, yeah, it makes sense because there's no way. I mean, like,
No.
and even like the way the male brain works, where it's like not really good multitaskers. So like I'm like in awe with my wife all the time. Because I'm like, I can't. Like I like get on one thing and I think it maybe frustrates her one time. Like I gotta finish this because I can't do something else right now.
Yep, I'm in the zone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can't think about something in the background. Like where like typically a female brain, like you can at least as far as I know, like you can work on something and then have something else you're working on at the same time.
Like the kids,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you guys are like wired for it. It's so awesome, man, and it's so cool to see. Because I'm like, dang, my brain is only like one dimensional. Like
Stay in awe. Stay humbled by all the awesome stuff going on.
yeah, totally, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
and your surroundings. And I'm so glad you guys are on too, because with spring right around the corner, I think this is an important podcast for this time of year.
Yes,
Definitely.
Yes.
Yeah,
100% agree.
yeah, and then and you mentioned something on the phone I want to ask you guys about too. Is that like pest control in your house using herbs? And
Yeah.
do you guys have any suggestions for that? I guess.
Yeah, mint, thyme,
Lavender,
creeping
holy
thyme,
basil.
holy basil.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Your choice, but aromatic herbs are amazing to put around the house for pest control for your house itself.
Mhm.
And then you can also use those herbs and ferment them for the oriental
Yeah.
herbal nutrient.
Full
right?
circle.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really fun. really fun stuff.
Yeah, and I've already told like probably a handful of folks about you telling me about the mint around your air conditioner. So when
Yeah.
it sucks in, you might get a little bit of mint flavor in your house. I'm like,
It's not exactly minty, like, a mint essential
gum or
oil
something,
or
yeah.
but I think it helps out.
herbaceous.
Yeah.
yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, herbaceous. And even that's
I mean,
like refreshing.
It's got to
you
do
know?
something, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's producing oxygen. It's producing, minty oxygen, if you will, when it's rubbing up against itself and the wind blowing it and everything like that, and it gets sucked in through the
Mice don't like it.
Yeah, mice hate
Oh,
it.
really?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
Oh,
like
really
it.
good for mice.
Mhm.
Yeah,
that's good.
spiders, a bunch of pests don't really like the mint and the rosemary and lavender and thyme and stuff like that.
Oh,
Yeah,
that sounds great. And then can you use
Yeah.
that with like diatomaceous earth? Do you guys mess with that at all?
Yeah,
Yes,
we do.
we do,
DE.
yeah.
DE's great stuff.
I love it.
It's just basically crushed up fossils.
Right, yeah.
Yeah,
It's wild.
It's really
It-
good stuff.
Yeah, and it kind of dries out bugs, right? That's why how it
Yeah.
keeps them out. Yeah.
Soft body bugs.
Soft body
There you
bug.
go.
Yeah,
Oh,
soft
gotcha.
body bugs. Yeah, it doesn't really do much for hard body bugs, but there's not that many hard body bugs that we're too concerned about.
Yeah, yeah,
Better.
totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, most, not at all, right? There's always a one-off. There's always an exception. There's always a set of rules, and there's even in English and math and everything, there's always a oh nope, there's a one-off, and
Yeah.
that so there's you got to kind of. There's a little bit of wiggle room here and there, but yeah, definitely rule of thumb.
yeah, totally. Because
Yeah.
I was using like that home defense before I knew better, and I was like,
yeah,
oh,
like
if I'm- it's not-
pyrethazine or something.
Yeah, if it's not real
Yeah.
good for you.
No,
Bad for the
definitely
soil.
not.
Yeah.
Bad for a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But it's an easy solution, right?
Yeah.
Of course.
And
It's
there's
convenient.
a bunch of
Yeah.
stuff out there, Neem oil's not that great. Some people do not like neem oil, but if you do have a serious issue, neem oil's better than pyrethazine or home defense, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or you could do, rosemary oil, multiple very pungent, strong essential oils mixed with some probiotic fermented food nutrients or even pure probiotics.
Oh, yeah.
You can buy big jugs of EM1, EM3, which is effective microorganisms.
Oh.
It's a probiotic plant serum, basically, plant liquid.
Oh, gotcha.
Which is full of probiotics, right?
Yeah.
Lactobacillus plantarum is one of the best.
That is a huge word.
Lactobacillus is.
I can see you reacted like, dang,
yeah,
that was
yeah.
really good. I mean, you said it like you were just talking in
Yeah.
normal conversation. Like, dang,
Yeah, I
man.
love this stuff. It's,
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, I love it. I'm so fascinated by it.
It's awesome, man.
But yeah, lactobacillus is a probiotic, right?
Oh, gotcha.
Lacto, right?
Yeah.
Lactose,
Yeah.
right? So lactobacillus is a probiotic strain. There's like so many different strains. Plantinium is one of the preferred for plants.
Oh, gotcha.
Plantinium plant, right?
Yeah,
right.
root words, yeah.
Root words, right? It's
Yeah.
Latin, of course,
Yeah.
but so lactobacillus plantarum, in an EM1 solution, you mix it with a bunch of different rosemary and peppermint and eucalyptus and tea tree, and you could throw some habaneros or chili peppers and garlic and
yeah.
onion and blend it up in the blender with some Dr. Bronner's soap, like we were talking
Oh,
about, like some
yeah.
Dr. Bronner's awesome stuff.
Yeah.
Saponins. You could even use soap nuts.
Yeah.
Saponin of choice, right? Soap of choice.
Oh.
Preferably natural soap,
Yeah.
of course, right? You don't want to use any, what is that?
Oh gosh, I forgot the name.
SLS, sodium
Yeah.
lauryl sulfate.
Oh, is that what's in the other not natural soap?
Dove?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's like garage floor cleaner.
Oh,
Like
really?
sodium lauryl sulfate should not be used, in my opinion. To each their own, right?
Yeah.
Right. I'm not trying to say what you should do with your life or
Or
but just-
body, whatever.
or
Free
body
will.
or free
Yeah.
will
Yeah.
is the most. I think
Uh-huh.
free will is huge. I mean, like we were talking about,
Yeah.
you don't just you could go overboard with that. When you're starting to cause issues, but.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
to each their own, right? Just take what I say with a grain of
Yeah,
salt.
yeah. These are just suggestions. you
Yeah,
know?
just suggestions. But
Yeah.
yeah, sodium lauryl sulfate, maybe on a garage floor, but not on plants, not on
human skin.
bodies.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, yeah.
yeah, exactly. But so non SLS, soap and it'll just help combine everything together and get it all blended up and get it all, and then also it helps for spreading and staying on the plants and staying where you spray it instead of just falling off. The soap
gotcha.
help binds it.
Yeah.
Right, so-
I was wondering where you're going with the soap. I was like, yeah, I wasn't tracking until you just said that.
No,
I gotcha.
soap help binds it and
Yeah.
helps spread it out and helps it, stay where it's put.
Gotcha. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really good. Because like I
Yeah.
said, those falls off like the diatomaceous earth. Like I sprayed on or I use like a little puffer thing to put
Yeah.
it on my fruit plants.
Yeah.
And to try to keep the ants off. I don't know if it works. Because is the ant the hard body that? Well,
Ants really, I forget the guy's name. Red Eye. products, or he's at the Hamilton Farmers Market. He's a really cool local guy, but he does it's a combination of like garlic, chili peppers, diatomaceous earth, and a few other different ingredients, and they
Was it caffeine? Was it coffee? Coffee grounds? Is that how?
coffee grounds also.
Oh, I've heard of people putting
ants-
coffee grounds in their garden.
Yeah, ants hate coffee grounds,
Oh.
and they're really good for worms. They're really good for the soil health.
Oh, no wonder. Yeah.
And ants and aphids go hand in hand. It's
Yeah,
kind
I
of
was about to
funny.
say,
Oh.
they're best friends.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh no.
They work together.
Oh, evil.
Yes, evil.
You want to talk about
No,
it?
you can't.
Okay.
Yeah, let's
So
take it.
the ant will basically mine what the aphid produces as a byproduct. They'll produce a plant sugar when they're eating the plants.
Oh, gotcha.
And sometimes you'll see this little sappy stuff when you have aphid infestation.
Yeah, because that's how you know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's a few precursors: the leaves, the health, production, et cetera, but the ant will actually put it there and mine the sap, take it back to the hive, and then at the end of the day they'll take the aphids and they'll take the aphids back and put them in a safe spot. And
Really? No way.
yeah,
That is wild.
they
man.
mine aphids.
That,
And so they go hand in hand. So
That's wild.
A lot of times, if you have aphids, you'll have ants, and vice versa. A lot of times, when you have ants, you have aphids, because
Oh, man.
they do like to work together.
Dang.
Little boogers.
yeah, little buggers.
Little
yeah.
buggers.
Makes it interesting though, right? Like
Yeah.
if it wasn't a bit of a challenge, it might not be as fun.
yeah.
Too easy, right?
Yeah, too
There's
easy.
joy in the work, and
Yeah, joy in the work.
sometimes working hard for it makes it that much more satisfying, right?
Yeah, especially you get the victory over those little buggers. You're like, like,
Screw you, ants and
yeah,
aphids.
yeah.
Yeah,
Especially,
totally.
and you guys probably know, like in fruit trees, it seems like ants move in so fast. Like,
Yeah.
Sweet,
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah, find those
love
cherries, just mow them down. I remember as a
Mhm.
kid, like my mom didn't really care about the cherry tree that much, but I was always like, I can't wait for cherries, and like before they're even fully ripe, they'd be just decimated. Yeah, that's what, yeah.
Jinx, no.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say the same thing. Yeah.
I don't care. I'm childish sometimes, but in a good way, right? Try to
Yes.
keep that child fun and going.
Yeah, we were talking earlier, man. Stay young, man. It's
Stay
important.
young. Yeah, I think that's the way. In psychology, once you kind of like are done learning, done retired, you age like 500% faster or something
sense.
crazy like that. Like, yeah,
'Cause you get, like-
I forget the exact percentage, but it was extraordinarily high. I was like, whoa, we should always just keep growing, keep learning. There's always purpose.
Yeah, that math makes sense to me, man. Because like
Yeah.
you stay like, because if you get rigid in your brain first, and it kind of like reflects out in your body, inside out, and outside, inside out, and then you stop I think being curious about the world, and so you stop being as active, and you just kind of become more sedentary, and and that's real bad for the body.
Bad for the brain, bad for the
Bad for
body.
the brain,
You
yeah.
just slowly, start
Bad
to
for the soul.
Bad for the soul.
Yeah.
Quicker and quicker.
Soul food.
Yeah, soul food.
Well, even like this stuff, like soul food. And
Yeah.
another. I think you guys probably know of each other because Microgreen's one of my friends, Hilltop Acres.
Sure.
She mostly is out of Missoula there.
Yeah.
Lives a little north, and
Yeah.
we were talking about before she came on the podcast. 'Cause we were talking about like soul food, not just like
Oh yeah.
in the stuff that she produces in the microgreen world, but like just the conversation like I have with her and her husband and,
Yeah.
and my wife, and just like
Yeah.
with you guys too,
Sweet.
Yeah, I think it's so important, Max.
It is.
I'm getting good information on you guys, but also it's like it feels good,
Yeah.
to talk to
Yeah.
you guys.
100%.
I
Yeah.
appreciate that. It's
Thank you.
mutual, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
We really appreciate you creating
It's needed.
open
Yeah,
space.
it's-
We need this
absolutely.
in our community.
I think so too, especially
Definitely.
like not to like go back to the pandemic, but I think it got shut down a little bit during the pandemic, and so I think
Yeah.
maybe I need it more, So maybe it's a little selfish on my part,
We all
but
do. We all
Yeah.
need to be conversing and communicating, and it's part of human life and human existence to have this.
Yeah,
that
storytelling.
Yeah,
Storytelling is very, very important
Yeah.
for every single culture.
yeah,
We need
100%,
it.
yeah,
Yes.
totally. And man, I mean, this is like totally off topic, but it kind of talks about we're talking about like just tribe and culture and stories, like
Yeah.
that's huge for everybody, like for brains, like the storyteller and the people receiving the
Mhm.
message, and then that message lives, even just like the probiotic like I was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
And saw something this morning that was pretty interesting. It was on sustainable wellness, Jess.
Yes,
you know?
yeah.
I just read
We were
an
just
article
talking to her,
today.
yeah.
Oh, really?
Good food store. It was hilarious.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
it was
she's-
so good
she's
to see her.
amazing,
She
yeah.
is.
Yeah,
You're
definitely.
amazing, Jess.
Yeah, you're amazing. Shout out to Jess.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jess.
Sustainable wellness, yeah. But yeah, like she had something this morning. It was like this gal. It was a reel, and she had this gal about being like waking up with 20 or 40 eyes on you, and I was like, whoa, that seems like a lot. And then like it goes in the story more, and it seems like more like from our ancestors being like tribal and like waking up and having that tribe of people like that care for you and see you. And she like brings it up like, you don't see yourself, like unless you're like in a mirror, you don't really see yourself. So you have somebody who like cares for you and sees you for who you are and what you are. And then I was thinking like in terms of like children, you know, like I read something a long time ago where like in this small thing, like just a tribe of, I can't remember what tribe it was, but husband goes out to hunt, wife is at home with the kid, and then the elder women come and take the kid from the wife, you know, for like almost like a respite, but then the wife goes out and gathers and can do her day thing and take care of her, and then the baby's in good arms with like 20 other elder ladies, you know, women. Support system, yeah.
Support system is huge.
And she touched on that in a different way, but it reminded me of that story I read like when I was younger. I was like, wow, that's, like it's so needed, because she was talking about like if something happens to the husband, you know, it goes off, leaves, whatever it might be. And I don't, you know, she didn't have a monitor time. Like, you know, like for me, like going on fire, you know, it's like super hard for, you know, if I was going on fire still for my wife to be home with kiddo, you know, and it's so, but if you had that, but if you had the tribe, that was a big deal.
Village.
The village. And she had, I think she even had like some kind of stat behind it. Like the child isn't even like, there's no difference, right? It just like the life of the child keeps going and growing, and then there's no disturbance in the family, I guess is kind of what she was saying, you know, with having that tribe. I was like, man, it's so important, because we all got isolated so hard. I know. You know, and then we isolate ourselves sometimes. So it's like, man, we really need to get that tribe built up, especially like almost in the female world. And she was like, sisterhood's important. And I think we kind of got away from it a little bit, you know?
Yeah. And like we were talking about, it's sometimes it's hard for people to join together because they're so fearful of getting things taken away. You know, right? It's healthy boundaries. You gotta set up healthy boundaries. And I think that's how the tribe can thrive. And, you know, speaking about stories, and one story about this indigenous. Oh, that's a really good one too.
Say it again.
Ubuntu.
I don't know.
You want to explain that one?
No, you can.
Okay. So I forgot the anthropologist's name, but he went out to a village in Africa, and he was, you know, helping out with malaria and different diseases and stuff like that, and just learning about their culture.
Yeah.
And this is a while back, and he did a test on the kids, and he put a bunch of food and candy behind a tree. And he said, all right, kids, there's a bunch of food and candy behind this tree. You see it right there? And they're like, oh, yeah. And he goes, first one to the tree gets all of it.
Oh.
And he says, 1, 2, 3, go. They all linked arms, walked over to the tree, kind of hung out. And, oh, you like this candy? Here you go. You like that candy, right? It's still needs-based. It's still diverse. It's still as fair and equal. It's not communism. You know, people go that, oh, it's got, no. They were just being loving. They were being a tribe. They were sharing. They were giving to each other. And this anthropologist was like, oh my gosh, these savage kids, how could they just innately know to share and love each other instead of fighting for all of it for themselves?
Savages.
Savages, yeah. I know. Not so savage if they're that loving, right? And baffling this PhD professor.
Yeah.
And he turned to one of the kids that could kind of speak broken English, and he said, why did you guys do that? What was going on with that? And he said, Ubuntu. And the guy was like, what? What's Ubuntu? And he says, I am because we are.
Oh.
How could I watch my brothers and sisters, even though they weren't true brothers and sisters, right? That indigenous mentality of everybody's brother, sister, cousin. Yeah. How could I watch my brothers and sisters starve while I eat all this candy on my own?
Yeah.
I can't do that. And this professor was just like,
you
know,
powerful,
mind blown. And he went back to the States, and obviously had a light bulb wake up call. Like, dang, these aren't savages. These are beautiful, you know, gifts to the world. Like we all are. You're a gift to this world. Whoever's watching,
all
and
the folks.
you are valued.
Listening.
Yeah, absolutely. Important message, man.
Yeah, and another one I liked was from an indigenous Sami, the reindeer herders of above. You know, Norway and Laplanders, right, is what some of them are called. They don't really like that term, but some people know it as that. It's above, you know, it's all that, you know, above Russia, above Scandinavia, Norway, and everything. There's a bunch of islands and reindeer herder people, right?
Oh, yeah, I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, it's really interesting stuff. Very interesting checking out their DNA and what people have to say about them. But I like this guy I found on YouTube one day, and he said, how can we live an indigenous or more grounded and rooted in stewardship of the earth when we've all been separated from our homeland and our native land?
Yeah.
We have to root down. We have to think of how could we steward the earth that we're walking on each step,
That's a good point, man.
right?
Yeah, because it seems like almost everybody's like at some point in their culture were forced off their homeland, you know, and then had to make do with somewhere new, you know.
And like I'm multiple races. Like I'm Slavic and Polish, right? And then I'm like Irish, Scottish, and Scandinavian. Like I can't be all places at once.
Yeah, good point.
You
man.
know what I mean? So it's like, should I pick one or should I just accept all of them and like honor the earth that I'm walking on right now?
Yeah, what'd you choose?
Right.
Accept all of them? Is that what you're going with? Yeah, it's a good point.
Accept all of them, right?
Yeah.
I can't just pick a side of my ancestry. They're all together. Like I have 40 eyes on me. It's not just 2 eyes from my Polish side.
Yeah.
All the ancestors are riding behind you.
And descendants. Yeah, absolutely.
Back and forth, right? We're supposed to be walking in a manner that we're caring for our grandchildren,
Yeah.
right? And that's a huge one.
What are we
Yeah.
supposed to look at? 8 generations forward?
4, I thought it was 3 or 4 generations
Okay.
forward, and there's
Maybe
8.
8's too long.
Yeah,
I thought it was
long, but yeah.
8 generations of cyclical DNA and trauma or gifts, right, back and forth.
Yeah.
I thought it was about, anyways, it's, our ancestors are in our DNA.
Yeah,
We
absolutely.
can't ignore
Just
that.
look in the mirror.
Yeah, totally, yeah. You know, I mean, I can see all the traits, you know, if you like can, see like a picture of, like if you had those you see 4 or 5 places you know where you're from, at least?
Yeah.
And then, who knows? I mean, it's like ballpark,
About,
right?
yeah, about
so,
4 or so, yeah.
yeah, so you look at 4 like pictures and you look at, kind of folks from each place. You could probably pick out things from each one, like,
Yep.
oh yeah, I got a little bit of that, going on here,
Definitely.
and
Yeah. It's really fun.
that's really cool, man.
Yeah, everybody's obsessed with Ancestry.com and their genealogy and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
It's empowering.
Not obsessed, and not
It is.
everybody, but a lot of people are interested in their heritage.
Yeah.
And rightfully so. It's where we
Yeah.
came from.
Totally.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice to have that like tether a little bit to your homeland, whatever it
Mhm.
might be. But and I was kind of going down a little bit too. Like I was really proud to be like Native American and stuff.
Mhm.
So I was like, oh, cool. And then, but then I started reading more about like my Irish history and some other. I think I got a little Norwegian in me too. And it's like a lot of it comes like similar. There's similar stories, and it's all kind of similar.
Yeah.
Like if you go back far enough, it's all similar tribal things too.
Yep.
So it was like these messages that I was like more proud of being Native American with. It was like, well, I still get that in my Irish roots too, and then like my
Yeah.
Norwegian roots too, and it's like, oh, so it's like I think if you go like kind of just like think back a little bit further, it's like we're all we're all connected tighter at that point. I think
Right.
too.
I
so-
agree. It's all autonomous. It's all
We're all children of the
needs-based.
earth, right?
Yeah, children. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
And it doesn't,
yeah.
because you're from one area or the other, doesn't make it better or worse.
Exactly. It's just like the hand disrespecting the foot for being a
Yeah.
foot.
Yeah.
It's so silly.
Yeah, and that just causes division too. Like if you're just
Yeah.
like I'm this and you're not, and
You
yeah.
should be like me. It's like, what? You want everybody to be color gray? Like that's
Yeah,
not.
that's what-
not cool.
That's exactly and that's exactly what it ended up being, right? We all be just
Yeah.
like one shade, It's like, man, they're so
So boring.
so boring. I was gonna
Yeah.
say, yeah.
It's like eating the same food every single meal, every single day for the rest of your life. Like,
What are we
no,
learning?
count me
yeah,
out.
yeah. And I don't know if you did, but I had to do that for a while with my Crohn's, and it's like really
Oh.
bland.
I tried it.
The food journal and everything,
Yeah,
writing
the-
down what you ate.
Yeah, exactly,
Oh,
like,
man.
It was fun. Yeah, I
Remember those
eventually went
days.
to like peanut butter jelly sandwiches at one point in time. Then I found out the wheat was hurting my tummy too.
See, that's like, I did the
It's
same
like-
thing. I was like, man, I'm like eating nothing here. Like I was doing like crackers and
Yeah,
tuna,
yeah.
and then the crackers were messing me up because like wheat or something.
Yeah,
And I was like,
the inflammation. from-
Yeah.
It's in
Everybody's so
everything.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
in everything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
totally.
And then I found like some kind of like pita bread or something that I started using instead.
There you
And,
go.
yeah, and hummus instead of like other things, for a little while. And
Whatever works, you got to listen to your body, and it's not always the
Restart,
same.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't always stay the same. One week your body's great on this, and another week it's not. And you got to just.
it's so
kinda-
weird, right? That like that. Yeah, totally.
Listening.
Yeah, listening.
Listening's huge.
Yeah, and I think
Often we ignore our body, we ignore guidance.
That still voice that you need to listen to.
Yeah.
yeah, and take a little time with your food. Like putting a little more love and care into your food and what you put in your body. Like and
Yeah.
instead of just like the quick and easy fix.
That's
Right.
self-care too.
Self-care, yeah, that's
Yeah.
big. I'm glad you mentioned that because that's one of the things that like a staple of this is like trying to talk more about self-care.
Yeah, I said something the other day, I forgot what it was, but it's like I don't understand why we keep perpetuating this continual like diminishing of ourselves and our person and our soul, if you will. Like we're
Yeah.
kind of perpetuating soul loss as societal norm.
Yeah.
Oh, just put your kid away and grow up. And it's like, no, we should be growing up in a much better, healthier, creative manner, just to laugh and have fun and be creative and goof off with random people. It's not a bad thing. It's not unhealthy. It's
we're only here for a little while.
Just a little vapor.
Yeah,
Just
totally.
a little vapor.
And why don't you try to have the most fun you can, and be the best you can, like
within limits of
course.
but
got too much fun,
healthy boundaries is still a thing, right? And being compassionate and considerate of others too, within reason. Sometimes you can't win it all. You can't please everybody.
Yeah,
you can definitely try to show love and try to show the best side of yourself you can, but it's not always,
Yeah, you gotta have a little bit of thick skin in the world too, because
I learned that. Yeah.
Yeah, I bet. What happened? You have something recently?
No.
Oh, I was gonna say, was someone
growing up.
Oh, I was gonna say, was someone being mean to you? Like,
hey,
whoa. Do we have to go talk to somebody?
No. Yes, but not about that.
Yeah, totally. But yeah, I mean, even with this, because that's more what my brain went with that. Is like with this, I know it hasn't happened yet because it's so small. Like I don't have like a bunch of people, but like eventually there's gonna be something that someone just is gonna write something mean to be mean, and it's like have that thick skin. Like that person doesn't matter. Like it's all about people that you surround yourself with that bring you up and not letting those.
And that's also knowing your worth and having value.
And
in
also,
what you do.
those people that like to be mean, I feel like there's something like they need help.
Yeah.
Like like maybe they're hurting because
Totally.
like honestly like what is it? What's that saying? How does it go? Like
Hurt people hurt people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that the one you were thinking of?
Yeah, I was thinking
Misery
that too.
loves company.
Yeah.
Misery. No, what is Little Money Congo said in that one song? Sorry, I'm singing the song.
No, go ahead. Yeah, no, we got plenty of time. Because that's something I'm trying to do too, is like kind of like not rush a conversation. Because I was having a hard time with that at first. Because like camera, and like people, and I like.
What they say about you says more about them
I
than it
like
says
that.
about you.
Yeah.
So there's nothing to defend.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a great line.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you. Well, it's Illuminati Congo, the music.
Yeah. And it's even in psychology too.
Yeah.
A lot of times people will personify their own inner guilt or inner shame or inner fears or pain or whatever. And a lot of people are having a lot of issues and they don't know how to express it properly.
They need more love.
Right. Yeah, definitely. Or maybe they're ashamed of showing their feelings. A lot of different people or whatever say, oh, guys shouldn't cry, guys shouldn't do this, guys shouldn't do that. And it's like, well, that's what you think, but maybe it's not right for somebody else.
You're the most emotional man that I have ever met. And I thank you for that.
I'll admit it. You're totally right.
My dad
It's huge.
very macho, Latin
Machismo.
man.
Oh, really?
I had my feelings. You're never going to see me cry. But yeah.
Well,
I try to wear my heart right here, and you could try to stab it, but there's
We're good.
Yeah, you can move it. Yeah.
They'll matrix dodge it.
Yeah, totally, man. Well, that's important, man. I think that's like why just talking to the phone, like, it came through, man, and it's super important because, like you mentioned, a lot of men are afraid of it, and I think. And maybe it's just me, like, because I like Joe Rogan a lot, but like one of his podcasts, a lot of podcasts.
I do too.
Me too.
I can't count how many. Sorry. Go
ahead. No, go ahead. Yeah, like it's totally fine. Like, but he's not afraid to show emotion. Like you'll see him like get choked up and like. Yeah. And he had somebody on that was talking about like the importance of like male emotion because like it is one of those things where it's like it's shown as weakness, like, but it's not.
I think showing emotion is showing strength, not weakness.
Yeah.
Like
totally.
Being able to cry or being able to show your emotions, showing that you're strong, that you can be vulnerable in front of people, and you can't you're not just supposed to be a robot all the time. It's kind of ridiculous. Shows you
care too. If they get a little choked up about something, like, man, I really care about this. Like someone let it out. Mine's I get more like teary-eyed, I think, on happy stuff. Like if I'm like really like trying to tell somebody like, man, I really like you, then it's usually like I get a little teary-eyed like that. Like, and I'm like. Not trying to sound weird about it, but like just being like, man, I don't think you hear it enough. I appreciate you a lot. Like I told like my old boss about this the other day, Joy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like you do a lot of good work for everybody. So like I just don't think you hear it enough.
That's awesome, man. People do need to hear that. Yeah,
I am a proud crybaby. I am a Llorona, and I am proud of it. I'm proud to be sensitive.
Yeah. But you said you're a what?
Crybaby, Llorona. It's just a female crybaby.
Yeah. Oh, it's a
Llorona.
Llorona.
Yeah, there you go.
In Spanish, you said?
Yeah.
Llorona. Oh yeah, that's awesome. I'm working the Spanish. I'm not too good at.
It's okay. It's confusing.
Yeah, it's well. And what I found out too is like a lot of languages. Talking to when I was in Tijuana, talking to folks, it's like we'll say like what I can't remember because like in the Spanish language they kind of flip things like
Oh,
It's like backwards.
like well, like
Yeah,
say like a
it's
yellow
backwards.
car. They'll be like car. Wait, we'll say like yellow car. How does it work? Yeah.
Amarillo.
Well, like if you were gonna describe something like if it in English it'd be like
Coche amarillo. It's like they say car yellow instead
Yeah.
of yellow car.
that's that's what I was getting at.
It's
Yeah.
backwards.
Yeah.
The subject is
Yeah, so it's flipped. So like I still try to say like a phrase and I'll say it like English way, and they're like,
I'm like, wait, hold on.
yeah, I'm like, wait, that wasn't right. Yeah,
We still understand. It's okay.
yeah, I can see like there's like smiling like kindly, like yeah, I know what you're saying.
At least
but
you try.
yeah,
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
I know food stuff better, like, salsa verde. It's
Yeah.
like salsa green, but we would say it green salsa.
yeah,
Right.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
yeah.
That makes sense. That was really good though, man. Like you rolling the Mars.
I told you,
I was like,
the
teaching
kitchen,
him, yeah.
kitchen Spanish and food Spanish are much better.
Kitchen Spanish. That's good though,
Oh,
man.
yeah, he knows all the.
Oh, the kitchen Spanish. I
Yeah.
used to work in kitchens. That's why I started off as a prep chef and worked my way up while doing schooling and stuff like that.
Oh,
So
awesome, man.
a lot of fun times with kitchen stuff back there.
Oh, I bet, man. Jeez, and look, the education you got back there probably is just, like you can't get that anywhere, you know?
Yeah, very fortunate and very blessed for the different experiences we've had on this adventure, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
the thing is like taking all the good out. Like there's some bad things that you definitely want to like. Well, I don't want to do that again. But like being able to remind yourself like there's some good there too.
Hard
You know, at
lessons are
least,
still
yeah.
lessons.
Yeah. Good point, dude.
100%.
Yeah, there's still you could take that's part of being an awesome person and trying to do the best we can is taking extracting the light out of the darkness, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Totally, man.
definitely. It's needed. It's not easy, but
No, it's not. Especially like when you're going through it. You're like,
Oh,
like
yeah.
we're doing this. This is I'm going through this for a reason, right? You're like,
Yeah.
and we'll see what it is on the other side here, and just being patient and trying
That's
to
hard.
stay
step
positive.
outside of
Mhm.
yourself and try to
Yeah.
view it from a
And view
different
it, yeah.
perspective, and you're like,
Yeah.
okay, maybe, okay. I'm not gonna go crazy. I'm gonna view it from an outside perspective.
Yeah, and I keep on kind of reminding myself because I've never like had a business or anything. So like with the podcast and stuff, it's all new, and I know there's gonna be like these like almost like stair steps where it's like
Sure.
like a chart. Yeah, I was like I'll be going good, and then bam, yeah, then I'll like
And you
come
go
back
back
down.
up.
Yeah, exactly. And
I like the saying that you're only a failure if you don't get back up,
oh yeah, that's good.
right?
Yeah, absolutely. Because that's it too. Like I had a friend actually text me, my friend Dean. He's like, yeah, man, you're the 5%ers. I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like, well, most people quit on a podcast before they can get to 20 episodes. So he's like, you're already in a good spot, man. Just keep going. I was like,
That's
man,
awesome.
thanks, dude. I needed that,
Yeah, we all need that. That's part of the support system of that
Yeah.
tribe, Sometimes it's just, hey, you good?
Yeah.
Love you. Keep going. You got this.
That's why I love Lauren. Like she's one of my friends that she has a shop in Hamilton. It's called
Cool.
Merkaba Within.
Yeah.
And she sells crystals and
Oh, cool.
she also does classes, and she has this, it's so cute. She has this like jar, and it says like support person. And I'm like, what is that?
Yeah.
Why does it say support person? She's like, oh, well, we are in a group, and you can drop your name in. You don't even have to belong to the group, but if you want to drop your name in there, I'll pass it around to the group, and they have to text you every day, just supporting messages.
Oh,
like,
cool.
you can do it. You're smart. You're brave.
Yeah.
Just like if you don't have that,
Yeah.
it's so
It's needed.
it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
I want to
Yeah.
cry.
No, me
too.
When
Yeah.
she told me that, I was like,
Yeah.
oh my god.
Yeah, that's so
You're
cool.
so awesome.
Yeah.
Keep
Thank
doing
you.
this. Like,
Yeah.
we
Thank
need more
you.
positivity,
Yeah.
definitely.
You can
and-
tell that when people care,
Mhm.
Yeah, totally.
honestly care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my dad taught me is you show people with your actions by, sometimes healthy boundaries once again,
Yeah.
when you're able to and you don't cause
Of
go
course.
backwards, right? But when you can show people with your actions, you care.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and
Yeah,
like
actions speak louder than words, hands down.
yeah, totally, man. And then like even like sprinkling little words in there too. Like when you're like, hey, like I was talking with my friend Joy. I was just like, I don't know if you actually like. It just kind of hit me. I was like, I don't know if you really like hear this enough. Like you're really awesome, and you help so many of us out. I
It's
really
kind of like
appreciate you.
Actions and words,
Yeah,
right?
it's
Little
true.
combo.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Little
Absolutely, man.
combo. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
but you're totally right. Yeah, definitely needed.
Yeah.
Especially with, man, a lot of people are, we're having to work 25-50% harder just to keep up with stuff, with everything going on. And it's like, sometimes we just need to take a step back and slow down and thank you for being here,
Yeah, thank you for being you. And
Get a little boost, get a little lightning bolt of energy from that positive reinforcement.
Yeah, totally. And
Yeah.
there's this little thing that was going around on like social media. It's probably back in the Facebook days, but I mean Facebook's still around. I don't have it anymore, so like
Me either.
Yeah, we barely, just
Yeah.
a little bit for some
For
of the
business, yeah.
some of the
Yeah.
business stuff and some of the events and some
Oh,
of
that's a good point.
We try to keep an open demographic, right?
Yeah, I should probably do that too.
I mean, do what you will, free will.
Yeah.
It's hard to do everything.
It is,
It
yeah.
really is. We're not on Facebook as much as we should be, but
Yeah.
every now and then we'll try to get connected with it. And
And it definitely makes sense, like for you guys too, the business, because you can do like a post with like a more of a paragraph of like, hey, we got this going on. It's spring, reminder,
Yeah.
like I don't know if you guys do this, but like reminder, like, hey, it's spring. You get your plants in the ground or whatever you guys might
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
And but this one was like this. It was like just like a picture, almost like a meme or something. But it wasn't like a person. It was just like you survived, like. Breakups and failures and lost friendships and all this stuff, and you're still here. Go you!
Yeah.
It was like a little reminder
Yeah.
that went around for a while. I was like, man,
I
that's
like that.
Yeah, that's a great
that's good.
message.
There's another fun one. If you end up walking into hell, why would you stop there?
Oh yeah, right.
Just keep walking
going.
out.
Wow.
Just keep
Keep
going.
going.
Don't just
Dude.
stop
It's
there.
not the end.
It's not the end. You can
No.
still ask for help, and you can still, but
Yeah.
a little humility and a little action combine together, and get the freaking out there.
Yeah.
Run away.
yeah, totally, man. Like if you
Don't give up.
yeah, and if you get stuck, man, maybe take a second just to reflect and be like, how'd I get here?
Yeah.
All right, let's not do that again. And just
Yeah.
like-
yeah. That's like the what definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different outcome. It's like, no, do something different. Go
Yeah.
right instead of left.
Think outside the box.
Think outside the box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah,
And like people,
diversify something.
yeah, and people don't have that like internal like conversation with themselves and like
Mm-hmm.
reflection. I think they end up like keep doing that in definition of insanity, like whether it's like dating
Yeah.
bad people or making bad decisions,
Mhm.
And it's not like bad people. People aren't good for them,
Yeah, definitely.
What was that saying? That we're really good at taking directions, but we're not, great at thinking outside the box. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I forgot how the saying goes.
That's good. That
was good,
Sounded,
yeah.
sounded great to me.
Yeah, I'm like, because I was like trying to think of what we could add out of that. I'm like, I don't think anything.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely is needed. Sometimes radical, radical change is sometimes needed for radical issues or radical situations.
Well, totally, and change is scary, and that actually kind of leads into what like you guys like.
Yeah.
How did you guys like? I mean, that had to be kind of scary, being like, hey, we're in the Bitterroot, we're gonna get this going, and
Yeah.
making this life change. Because I mean,
Well,
like-
to be honest, we started in Colorado. Her family and my step family's from Colorado, and
oh yeah,
and we just it happened, and our path led us into Colorado for better or for worse. We learned a bunch of amazing things. We had amazing relationships with different businesses and restaurants. She actually was working at a hospital while we had our son, and I was working 2-3 jobs, and then eventually we got her to stop working and help with the
Stay home.
Yeah.
and I was doing produce management at Natural Grocers,
oh yeah.
and doing Uber and Lyft at the same time of starting the business.
Oh jeez, man.
Yeah. So I was, basically working all day, all night, every day, all day.
Yeah, burn that midnight oil, man.
Oh, burning the candle from every direction and up and down and
Yeah.
sideways and
Yeah, we were
slantways
to,
and
we were
Willy
to save
Wonka
up a little
elevator.
money. we were to save up like a little bit of money from me working and him doing Uber, and we
Left
just started
and
Eternal Bloom.
Had to sell
That's
my
awesome.
off-roader truck
Oh
that
my
I
God,
built.
your baby, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I had a
man.
sweet Chevy I built, all custom done, and me and my friends all built it up, and
Oh sweet.
luckily I had that to sell off, and we had another
That
car.
really
and-
helped.
Yeah.
us, to be
Yeah,
honest.
that helped get us out of an apartment into our house, and the
With
house.
land.
Yeah, with a little bit of land, and that house was able to get the greens going. This was what 2015,
Oh wow, man.
16.
16.
Yeah,
I
a
don't
while
remember.
ago. So
Yeah.
we've been doing this quite a while.
I was gonna ask, yeah, like I mean, because I'm so
it's,
new.
What, 8 years now? Jeez,
Holy
something like
cow.
that.
Serious? Has it
Yeah,
really
it's
been
2023. I mean,
I feel like it's
2015.
like
Yeah. And you guys were here. That's where
We
you
were
guys
in
moved
Colorado
Oh, and then
first. We've always lived in Montana. My family's been here since the 40s.
Oh wow.
Yeah, the Gardner Jensen family's been here since the 40s, and
Oh, cool.
in Idaho since before then, yeah, my grandma actually and her brother, my grandma, bless her heart, R.I.P. She passed at 100.
Oh, damn,
And,
that's a
Uncle
long time.
Ken.
and Uncle Ken was 103 when he passed. This is just my grandma passed a year ago, and Uncle Ken about 2 years ago. But
Good genetics, huh?
yeah, they've always lived
Strong.
in the valley, you know, and
gotcha.
Yeah, didn't Uncle Ken do roads?
he built most of the roads and excavated and very interesting stories at his funeral. That's for sure. It was amazing.
He was
hearing-
super spunky.
Really?
I adored
yeah.
him. Yes.
Yeah, he would like put the bucket of the excavator on the other side of the river and flip the excavator over to build bridges and stuff. And man, like
whoa.
crazy stuff, like
Yeah.
crazy cool stories.
That is awesome, man.
Yeah. So real fun stuff. But
Yeah.
and so I've always loved Montana. You know, we've had our house here since 2010 as a family, and my
nice.
grandma's had a house in Florence since like the 70s, and
Yeah.
it's always kind of been, you know, we'd always come over here for winter breaks and, you know, in between school and stuff. And
Yeah, it's like you almost had like one
summer
route
and-
already in here, you know, like just making the full move. And
Yeah, and it's always been a dream of mine to come back and have a family here, and you know, whether you want to say it's the universe or God or
Yeah,
divine
intervention,
assistance
something,
or
yeah.
whatever you want to call it, you know, to each your own. But yeah, we were kind of just plopped here, and
That's awesome.
it was a tough.
It was hard transition. It was
yeah,
not easy.
it was a hard
I'm gonna be
transition.
honest.
Yeah, I bet.
You know,
it was.
I didn't want to leave Colorado because we were so established there. Our business was
Yeah,
established.
very well,
We had all
yeah.
these contracts, and I was so excited. But you know, unfortunately,
Yeah.
his dad got terminal cancer,
Oh,
and
sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
we made the choice. It's either, you know, give up the dollars and the money, or not take care
Family.
of his family.
Yeah.
You know, it was like that. You know, his
Yeah.
mom was super overwhelmed. It's so
Yeah.
hard, you know, taking
Yeah.
care, and then being a caretaker 24/7 with someone with terminal cancer, and
Absolutely.
and it was
And trying to stay
heartbreaking.
positive because like you just see
Yeah.
like it's like
It's but yeah, we decided, you know what, forget about it right now. We're just gonna focus on
Family
healing
first, right? Family
Healthy.
first.
100%.
That's our
Yeah.
that's our stability. That was our foundation.
Yeah.
Like, we're not gonna just leave him.
Yeah.
So
We came over here.
yeah,
nice.
and
And
we made the transition in about
Yeah.
3 years. Yeah, over 3 years ago. And it, you know, one thing after another, and eventually it was a goal to have our business move and have both
In like a
operating.
later years.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
But
and-
now it's like, whoa, okay, we're doing
Yeah.
it now.
oh, awesome. So you guys still do have like a branch in Colorado?
No,
No,
we
we
had
had
to
to
shut it down
close
due to
it.
COVID.
Yeah.
sad to hear
COVID
it.
completely shut us down in
Yeah.
Colorado because I was over here. I couldn't be two
We were
places at once,
traveling
and-
actually
yeah.
from Montana to Colorado, and it was so hard
That is
on
a
our family, and I was
Yeah,
pregnant.
She was pregnant with
Oh,
our
man.
daughter, our second. Yeah, and so we just made the decision we're gonna just root down in the Bitterroot.
yeah, totally.
And,
Greatest decision.
I was saying, I'm so glad you guys are here.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank
Yeah,
you.
we're,
We're
we're
happy to
honored
be
to be
here.
here,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
we feel best at home here. We feel
It's true.
we feel the community, and we feel the environment, and everything is very conducive and beneficial to our family's needs and
Yeah.
to our freedom and just to thrive, you know, and stability, right? We want to build our home on a rock, you know, on a solid foundation.
Yeah.
And
It
we
can
want
be
to,
done.
yeah,
Yeah.
and we want to think about our grandchildren and setting up our grandchildren. And we just didn't feel like that was possible very many other places, just us personally.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. You have everyone has that spot right that
Yeah,
calls them, right?
yeah,
you know, and,
yeah,
and
so
and I don't know if a lot of people do find it. I think people are like, well, I'm just, you know, they almost like get stuck in the rut, and they're like, well, I'm already established here and stuff. So like, good on
Yeah.
you guys for making the move. That's huge. That's
Oh,
hard.
yeah,
You know.
it was pretty tough, but we love it, you know, and now we have, you know, a bunch of hoop houses and our underground greenhouse, and we're full off grid, have a solar system that my friend Chris Colley helped us design and helped
Yeah.
us build, and now we're building, you know, other systems and stuff, and so now our farm and our house is you know, it's an awesome start. It's an
That's
awesome
really cool.
foundation, and
Yeah. And you guys' house is
cool.
on solar too.
a house and the greenhouse
Oh,
and
yeah.
everything
Yeah,
is
everything's
off grid
on- yeah, it
and
should be
solar
off-grid now.
powered. Yeah,
That's
we can-
awesome.
We can generate, you know, 30 to 50,000 watts a day
Man.
of power from our system, and then we have backup and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
you know, if we're going to invest in all of these different systems and sustainable programs and stuff like that, and we promise, hey, you know, XYZ restaurant or chef, hey, we're going to get you this at this time, and we have a crazy power outage, and it's blizzard season or whatever, and we want to have the ability to continue through it, and security is huge.
Yeah.
Especially these days, there's a lot of stuff going on, and
the weather, you can't I don't know, I mean, it's probably been like this forever, but like it seems like when we were kids, like you can kind of count on the weather a little bit more, like, and like, you hear like the farmers talk about like the first or the last frost of the year, the first frost of the year, and it was almost like clockwork, it felt like, but maybe it wasn't, but that's how it felt.
Yeah, it's getting a little interesting, and we could get into that on another topic, and Joe Rogan talks about that stuff all the time, and Randall Carlson and Carlson, a bunch of people talk about it, and the jet stream's kind of funky right now, and some of the magnetics and stuff's interesting. I mean, the only thing that's constant is change.
That's
right.
Good.
The seasons change. Why would the Earth not change slightly? And it's been kind of proven in the coral reefs and in different scientific archaeology that why is this city underwater, and why is this city up on the top of the mountain, and why is this there and that's there? It's just kind of out of place, right?
Yeah.
And so we definitely can see there's changes that go on every so often.
Yeah.
And it's nothing fearful. It's preparing and trying to navigate, right? So if we're trying to prepare and set up our grandchildren for the best possible scenario, best possible lives, I think having a stable, sustainable system and home and
educating them, on the stuff that you guys know and passing that on. Because then, and you guys probably are doing the same thing, like the foundation your ancestors laid down for you, like most like your folks and grandparents and aunts and uncles. Yep. All kind of passed down a little bit of knowledge, and
tons.
Then,
that's why we're here. That's they make up who we are.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you'll have a whole like a layer to the add on to especially the grandchildren.
Yeah,
'cause you'll give it to your children, they'll give it to their children, and
they'll teach us too, right?
Yeah.
I learned so much to teach. I learned so much from my kids.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I heard the term reverse mentoring. And like you hear about in the business.
True.
Yeah, you hear about in the business world because like the older generation that may not even had computers when they first got into the workforce, and then now these younger folks coming up that even our age group that has like grew up with a little more technology, and then who knows what's gonna be along when our kids are like our age or a little younger in their 20s,
Right.
So it's gonna be a different world,
Well, I mean, already I'm like, how did you figure that out? And he's like, I did this and this. And I'm like, what the? Okay.
Yeah.
It's a new way of seeing it.
Okay. Yeah, totally.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, and like you said, being open to it, to be able to see like, oh, all right, yeah, that's actually better than what I was doing, so let's do that,
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't have the ego for it, right? Like their ego's like, no, son, this is how we done it, and we're gonna keep doing it. You're like, what about this is easier on all of us,
Yeah.
Don't kill the ego, but work with the ego.
Yeah. Give the ego to the light, right?
It's hard.
It is hard. It is very tough, and no one's perfect. I'm not perfect. Definitely have a lot to work on, and
all of us
say things wrong all the time. Please correct me, but that's part of learning is having somebody, guide and be healthy, and hey, you didn't say this right. Maybe you could have, you're right. And that's how we're supposed to be, right?
Yeah, that's how the interaction's supposed to work, like, having a little bit of grace for, your fellow humans, and not just being like, oh, it's, like, at one point, like, especially now that I have like a record of my speech, like they trace me back to like my first episode and be like, yeah, you said something that was a little, but like at the time it's like it probably wouldn't have been, but then the future changes and things words change meaning even, and you're like, well, that's not what I meant by whatever, and then
totally,
if people want to kind of kill you for it, it's like that's not, I mean, I think it's going away, but it was super sensitive a few years back, and I was like, I didn't really want to start this then.
That stigma's kind of going away a little bit more and more, I think, and rightfully so. We should all be supportive instead of, even robots have issues.
Yeah.
Even machines have issues.
Yeah,
and
breakdown from
and
time.
How. Yeah, and it's like, who in this world is perfect?
Yeah.
You would not be here. Sorry.
No, yeah.
Right. We all make mistakes. Let's just get honest and get real.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm like, and I think that, keep talking about Rogan because I like what he does, but like even he talks about like, I'm not the same person I was yesterday. Like, I'm not the same person I was this morning. I've learned a few things since I woke up.
Forever evolving. Ascending and.
Ascending. And well, shoot, even the last we've been doing this for an hour and 20 almost. So I've already got like a ton of information that I didn't know about when this started.
It's an hour and 20 already.
Holy moly!
Do you guys have to be anywhere or?
30 minutes ish, maybe 45.
About the same.
Kids' bedtimes and stuff.
Yeah,
and
cool.
I can't believe it's 6:42 already.
I know this is like flown, but
Awesome.
Yeah, which is really
really
good.
fun
I mean, it's kind of a good conversation.
Yeah.
You know, and but I kind of derailed us there for a minute.
No, you're fine. You're totally
I'm
fine.
so
But
nervous.
I just caring for your fellow humans and
Yeah.
understand what's going through their own experience and stuff, and just having a little bit of patience.
I think it
you
goes
know?
hand in hand with stewardship, right?
Stewardship, yeah.
Right. It's not just one part. It's not just, we can't be closed-minded steward. That's not proper stewardship.
Yeah,
We have to kind of be open to multiple different directions and multiple different people, and not just stewarding the land, but what's on the land, right?
Yeah.
We're animals on the
Yeah.
land,
yeah.
right?
And that's a good point too. Like, and then being an open steward, like, there are always, especially the land, there are always people doing different like experiments and testing things. And like, with me, it's a lot of prescribed fire. And
Yeah.
trying to treat the land that way.
It's huge.
Yeah.
So needed.
Yeah, and I mean,
Yeah.
like you guys, I think you guys were doing like a little burning operation,
yeah,
weren't
we
you?
did.
Yeah.
Cleanse that land.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's great for the plants, creating biochar.
Biochar.
Yeah, and plants love it, and you're helping create more light, and you don't have to pull. The root systems are still there; they can decompose and provide
more-
benefits and
more
it's
fuel.
Part of the more fuel, but not choking the plants out that are trying to grow up.
Oh yeah.
If you have big tall grass that's brown from the year, and it's gonna eventually get green, but you can burn it down and slash and burn, right? It's a big, huge thing.
Yeah.
It used to be a common practice.
Yeah.
Slash and burn.
Yeah, like the indigenous people, and then 1910 scared everybody, which I understand because it like burned whole
I saw
towns.
that,
You
yeah.
know,
Yeah.
yeah,
I
1910,
saw
yeah,
that,
showing that.
Awesome.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
and honestly, I don't understand. Understandably, I guess what I was trying to say, freaked everybody out. So like, no fire, all fire's bad, and now it's getting back to more like, no, good fire.
Little fire's
Y-
good.
yeah.
Yeah, there's
Control.
balance, right?
Yeah.
We have that's part of the stewardship thing is balance, right? You have to have that little ebb and flow and
Yeah.
balance back and forth, and it's not
Yeah.
always the same.
Totally, and and us figuring out how much fire that we can put down to
Yeah.
be safe and to help the forest be a little better, and like
Yeah,
I think that's super important too.
super important.
Yeah.
Definitely agree with you.
And you guys were burning sage or something as well.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
just honoring and
Yeah,
giving
no, I think it
thanks
was
and
cool.
purifying the air and
Cedar and juniper.
Cedar
Oh,
and
cedar and
juniper.
juniper, yeah.
Yeah, we do sage sometimes too, and
Smudging.
we try to grow
Smudging,
sage. And
yeah.
try to grow some of our own herbs, and even for her body care, we'll try to grow
Like
as much as we
mugwort.
can.
Would
Yeah.
mugwort?
Yeah.
Mugwort and St. John's and
Oh,
I've heard St. John's.
basil and tulsi and
Passion
different
flower.
passion
Passion
flowers.
flower,
Yeah, we have
gotcha.
a few passion fruit.
Skull cap. Oh my
Skull
gosh,
cap.
I can keep going.
Yeah,
no, it's good. Yeah, it's good
try
for
to-
people to know.
We're trying to do as much as we can, local closed loop in our area as much as possible. It's not possible 100% yet,
Yeah.
but just like with this guy here, these were microgreens last year,
Oh, yeah, and then
and that's a sunflower.
full sunflower. Yeah.
Yeah, and now we have a bunch of seeds from it.
Yeah.
And so instead of just throwing the microgreen trays away, we're doing it in local living regenerative style soil and tossing it into the hoop houses and the raised beds and on the field, and the permaculture, and plants do their thing. 80% germination rate's pretty standard for microgreen seeds.
Wow, that's
So-
pretty high.
yeah, it is. It's about 20% though, or more, 25, 15, it depends. It's not always the same. But so why would you throw those seeds away?
Yeah.
Why don't you give them love, give them thanks, throw them back on the field, throw them back,
have
and
more.
and now you have more, and now there's more
Yeah.
seeds, and I just brought one little head to show. But,
No, I'm glad you did, man.
and then now, you could seed save, you could give them away for free, you could help other people out, whatever. You could
Yeah.
give the birds, the animals. It's not just going in the trash.
Yeah, totally. man.
Right? Like,
And-
why would you want to throw that good stuff away?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
to me that's like what you said there with the love and the honor. Like that's showing the love and honor and appreciation for something. Because I think we got away from that as a culture as well. Because it's like so easy to go to the store and see like a mass
Convenient,
amount of
yeah.
things. Yeah, convenient. Like,
Yeah.
well, yeah, like I go here and like there's a whole ton of apples and I get my couple and they're gonna be a whole ton the next day. I go and just like forgetting that it still comes from somewhere and like having the
Yeah.
appreciation for this bounty. I guess is kind of a way,
Yeah, it's giving
or
back.
harvest.
Yeah, giving back, right?
Yeah,
That's the big thing about stewarding again is giving equal or trying to give back more than we take.
Yeah.
And if we
Yeah.
give back more than we take, our kids will have more than they need
Yeah.
to give to others. And that perpetual, and that's another reason I brought up my grandma and my uncle Ken, her brother. They went through the Great Depression and they said they didn't really notice it.
Oh, really?
And how did they not notice it? Is they all had that support system and
Yeah.
that tribal kind of system where
Taking
some
care of each other.
yeah, some people would do the clothing, some people would do the meat, some people would do the cheese, some people would do the compost, the
yeah.
chickens.
Yeah.
Everybody complemented and allowed each other to thrive in it. and it wasn't this, wrestling match. It was more of a teamwork and community spirit, joining of hands and creating a stable environment.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think my great-grandfather had a similar experience. He was in Great Falls, and because my
Yeah.
grandma talked about it a little bit, but he never really talked about it because not because it was bad, because I don't think it really affected him as much as a lot of folks, because he had the same kind of network, like the local dairy farm was one of his really good friends. My dad even called him uncle, and then they had the chickens at his house and a garden, and it was funny, because the only thing my grandma ever mentioned was they had a root cellar, so they go down there and sneak a carrot or something like that, and then they get in trouble for digging into the root cellar a little bit. But
kids will be kids.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I love that.
Rightfully so.
Yeah, totally. And that was it. Just digging into that. And that's about the worst I heard about the Great Depression that they experienced. As far as I know.
Yeah, and so how do everybody's kind of on the fear of inflation and all this different stuff going on. Well, what's the solution? I don't know it.
Yeah.
I think I know a start though.
Yeah.
I don't know it. I think it's definitely rooting down and joining together and helping each other out and creating the support system that we would like to see.
Yeah.
And not just kind of pushing it off on other people as, all right, what do I got to do as Drew to be my puzzle piece that I need to be to create this beautiful puzzle.
Yeah, totally. And a thought just kind of crossed my brain, and maybe I'm not right here, but because it's just fresh in my head. But even little towns back in the day, the reason why all of a sudden there was a blacksmith, because it was needed, right?
Mm-hmm.
And because a lot of times the agriculture was kind of already there, kind of set up or whatever, brought the town to there, and then you we need a store, we need a post office, and all this stuff kind of came on more on a need and helping everybody out, right?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? I don't know.
Yeah,
no,
it
it totally
makes
does.
sense. 100%. We all have something to contribute.
Yeah.
And we're all different. So it's, even though it's something similar, we're all going to do it a different way.
Yeah, totally.
It's unique.
And there
It's our
might be a
gifts.
need for 2 blacksmiths.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there might be a need for 3 or 4, depending on what's going on.
We all do it
Yeah.
differently.
And especially
Yeah.
to keep
It's
that
not all black and white.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, especially to keep the small, the quality and the love in what you do. Keeping it small and not turning into a big operation where it's
Exactly.
you're not really hands on anymore. So we were talking even with you guys. Your operation. It's great. And you guys are just bringing more to the valley. And
Trying.
yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
But it's
Definitely
not you guys are trying to keep other people from having a garden. You guys are because you guys
We
are
want to
doing a class.
decentralize it, to be honest.
That's the
Yeah.
decentralize is the word of the game here.
Absolutely, yeah. And I was kind of picking at that because I thought that's what you guys were saying, so that's what I was kind of probing for.
No, definitely. I think it's huge. And we try to do classes.
That's what I was going to say. I saw that on your Instagram. Yeah, the class.
April 15th.
Yeah, do you want to say anything about that real quick while we're
We
on it?
don't know if we can invite more people yet.
Yeah,
I still
yeah,
need to
for
talk
sure.
to the host because it's not on our property.
But,
Yeah,
but
but
I will be
yeah.
teaching at the Hamilton Public Library as well.
Oh,
I just
very
need to set up a
We're
date
trying
for
to
that.
figure that one
Just-
out. Yep.
Yeah, I think it's just good to get it out there so people know,
Yeah.
hey, to bug you, in the future, hey, let's go on those classes. And what kind of class are you guys?
It's going to be an herbology class.
Herbology,
Yeah,
yeah.
so I love plants, and I've had such a great, my grandmother is indigenous, and she taught me how to talk to plants, with your heart.
Yeah.
I know, woo woo.
No, it's real though. I believe in it.
I mean, we're all alive. We all have different energy, but
Yep.
anyways, I've loved plants ever since a young age, and growing them and learning about them and sitting with them and talking with them, and so that's what led me into the herbologist way. From being a nurse, I was like, I want something more natural.
Yeah.
There has to be a different way. So
Yeah.
I started learning more about herbs, and I'm enrolled in advanced class in Herbal Academy, so I'm trying to do, be a what's it called?
Master herbalist.
Master herbalist.
Yeah, it does
so
sound
the
fancy.
label.
Yeah, it sounds like it's like a sweet jacket when you say that.
Little badge.
Yeah, exactly.
Members only jacket. No.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Little
and
flower crown.
Yeah, totally.
I just want to share that with
Oh.
other people and teach them, because we all have the innate gift. I believe herbology is our birthright.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't let anyone tell you that you can't do that, because you can.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Even
And
simple little things, even if it's just infusing an oil with some herbs from the garden.
yeah.
Calendula,
Yeah.
calendula, however you want to say it, but
Tomato.
yeah,
Yeah.
just plant infusions, teas,
Yeah.
just very
Yes.
common ground things.
Yeah, and like all those things, I think bring a little bit of peace and relaxation. Or like a tea, you know, you have like a nighttime tea or something. Like I would do that a lot. You know, like a night, like evening in Missoula is one of the ones I really enjoy.
Yeah, butterfly herbs.
Yeah, butterfly herbs.
So
Yeah, it's so nice at night, especially on a cold night. You know, something to like cuddle up next to a book with. You know.
Yeah.
It's like a hug for the soul.
Yeah, you can feel it for sure. You know, like it really helps, like kind of set you know my mood for like sleeping. You know, like I'm winding down, have a tea, read my book, and
they're here for a reason.
Yeah,
it's not just to stare at them and smash them down with your foot or say they're for hippies or you know, they're there for a reason.
Absolutely, yeah. And then having that like garden, you know, like you're sharing the knowledge of, well, both of you guys, you know, and then having that, you know, just even if it's a small garden, something to tend to, you know, like it's there's something fulfilling just having something to tend to, and it's like
having
a break
from
having the connection and a break from technology and getting outside and getting in touch with the earth more. You know,
you're grounding yourself.
Very healthy. Take off your shoes, water some plants.
Barefoot.
Barefoot's really good. Get all those, you know, organisms up in there.
And the grounding, like you said.
Grounding, the energetic. Somatics is real. It's not hippy dippy stuff. And,
I love all that. And
energy is real.
I love drumming.
Things are vibrating.
Drum.
Oh, cool.
Moving the energy.
Yeah. Something to it. I mean, like we were talking on the phone, like you know, playing the different type of music for a plant and seeing the different yield.
Sorry, I
didn't mean
No, you're fine. Please do. Please do.
Yeah,
it's science. It's not just like weird stuff. It's been proven, like you're saying. It actually song and energy and vibration affects things. How could we say it's not? Like someone's mad, you walk in the room, you could feel it. Right? Someone's happy, you could feel it.
Yeah, and I think we've all had that like person that either like was in your circle or something you've worked with before, or maybe just even in passing. But when they come in the room, like a really high energy, like positive person, you can feel like instantly. You're like, I like you. I don't know why, but I really like you.
Something about you.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, geez.
That's our heart. That's our heart's
our heart drum.
Good point.
Electric magnetic field.
Our
EMF from our heart, and like that's how you feel other people's energy.
They say it goes out like a certain distance from our body, our heart energy center.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Makes sense. I mean, like
science right there too. It's nothing weird. It's scientific again. They could test it with apparatuses and everything.
Really?
There's a certain hertz frequency that comes off the body.
Everybody.
Well, it makes sense. I mean, that's like if a heart stops, you bring it back with electric shock. You know, so it's like can't argue that.
I know.
Yeah.
We are alkaline and acids, and we're a living battery system, right? And that's why we have issues, is we're not putting the right energy in, and so our body's gonna have to compensate, and it's gonna harm certain parts of your body, you know, hypoxia and you know, different stuff going on. We could get into that another time.
Totally.
You know, right? And so totally right. There is an energetic part of it.
Yeah. Like we were talking the other day about like, you know, putting in something to help maybe scrub the system out too a little bit, and like, you know, keep your system running at a higher level or at its peak, I guess, as peak as you can get.
Adaptogenic, different, like that's Shilajit.
Yeah,
you know?
that's what I was kind of thinking.
Shilajit's amazing for that. It's got, you know, fulvic acid and humic acid and amino, like 90 amino acids, so much going on there. It's
amazing stuff.
You know, it's a biocatalyst. It helps, you know, if you're sleepy, your body needs rest, it'll help you kind of calm down. If you need energy, it'll help you kind of ramp up.
Oh, wow.
You know,
it's very balancing.
If you take, you know, some orange juice and you get 100 milligrams of vitamin C, it'll help give you about 120 milligrams of vitamin C. You know, it's a catalyst, biocatalyst. So, there's a bunch of really fun stuff.
That's cool. I didn't have a chance to, like, you sent me those links or the link, and I dove into them, and I didn't really have a chance to really like sit down, because like for me, I like gotta go in a quiet place and like read something to get it to really get
really
in.
Good.
Same.
Same.
So like I got like the cliff notes off it, and I was like, man, this does sound pretty impressive.
Snake oil.
No,
joking.
Wait. I'm like, Drew's full of it. This is
What is this crap?
Yeah, exactly. I'm just gonna go lick the dirt, you know.
It actually is. So how it was formed, to my knowledge, how it was formed was the Himalayan mountains crushing a tropical forest, and so all of that tropical forest got trapped and crushed by these rocks. And as they contract and expand with the season, they're actually exuding and producing this resin out of the mountains. It's actually, Shilajit means conqueror of mountains in what is it? Sanskrit, I believe, is the language Shilajit is. So it's conqueror of mountains.
Oh, yeah.
So I mean, something can conquer mountains. It's going to be some good stuff for the body.
Yeah, totally.
Get that mountain juice.
Yeah, exactly, man.
Wasn't there like monkeys
Yeah.
or something eating it, and
Yep.
the locals were like, "What's going on?"
That's
Because
exactly
they're
right.
healthy and they used to be sick.
Yep.
Oh, so they're sick monkeys, and because we kind of talked about that a little
Yep.
bit. Yeah, they're sick monkeys, and they consumed it, and then
Yeah.
back to being healthy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. And the villagers went, huh.
And it was like this tar. So this is just natural in its natural state.
And it's
Yes.
This is the
Whoa.
purest, rawest form that
Yeah.
I could find
Get, like, kinda
from
close
it's from Pure Himalayan Shilajit, I believe, is the company. It's a family-owned business. They do
Oh, man,
old school,
we've been-
ancient
yeah.
techniques, and yeah, and you brought that up. I like to call it ancient wisdom in a modern setting, or modern practicality, right?
Yeah.
So we have a lot of different knowledge now that's beneficial and useful. Like we didn't have solar systems back then. And it could be very useful. It could cut your energy bill down, provide sustainable power, long-term backup systems.
Yeah.
Harnessing,
Less environmental footprint.
right,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
exactly. But then we use some of the ancient wisdom combined with that, and now you really got a good, good start.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
even like you even said, like even our human bodies are such a mix of things. So like, why our world should be the same? Like mix is
Yeah.
just the best of what you can bring to your life.
Yeah, and invite all that good stuff that's needed. Everything's definitely needs based, but yeah.
Sorry, making the dinner plans.
No, you're good. Should we cut it?
No, we can keep going. I just was like
Okay.
clarifying, unless you guys got to go. You guys got to?
A few minutes, huh?
Yeah. Whenever. I mean, it's pretty. No rigidness to my podcast. So I was gonna say rigidity.
You're fine. Quick pause. We'll edit this out.
Yeah. Quick pause.
No, I was
Yeah.
like, do you guys edit this or just
No, well, and this is fine. I mean, like, a lot of times, like, even like a Rogan, you'll be like, look that up, and they'll like kind of like stare for a minute. So
Yeah.
like, it feels a long time, but like when I edit through it, like it'll be just like barely a blip.
I don't care.
Oh, wow.
Either
Yeah,
way, I
exactly.
was kind of joking, to be honest. Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm a
totally.
goof. I'll admit it. You can call me a goof. I'm fine with it.
Yeah, totally. Man, that makes it fun. Like
Yeah.
I'd rather be a goof than a stiff.
Oh man, robot world's not for me. Yeah, nope.
Me either, man. And
Yeah.
like, and there's some rigid people though that like are fun though, because they almost like the deadpan. Like if there's something like I don't know, and then I like say something, I'm like, oh yeah, I like you.
Sometimes dry and dark humor is fun too.
Yeah.
I go there every now and then.
super dry.
She's super
Yeah,
dry. That's true.
that's good. Yeah, that's a great blend. I mean, you guys have just an awesome blend, like you
Thanks.
two. Like the stuff you guys do together, and you can kind of tell you guys communicate and stuff too. I mean, it's a good balance.
Thank you. Yeah,
We
he's
try.
my mirror.
Yeah.
He's me and I'm him, and yeah.
Yeah, totally. And I remember, and I don't know if you guys had this, but I remember like I felt like I was hearing it more as a kid, whereas like you almost need like a leader and a follower in relationships, but I don't think so. I think you have like two leaders, like.
And sometimes it goes back and forth. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Like
totally.
sometimes she'll help lead me with certain things, and I'll kind of follow. And sometimes I'll lead her in certain things. We all need help sometimes.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. And,
definitely.
actually, one of my
Right.
first fireship leadership classes, I'm trying to remember. God, I'm blanking the guy's name. Oh man, it just keeps coming in and out of my brain. You hear that? But one of the great things he said in this like basic leadership class was, to be a good leader, you gotta be a good follower. So
Yeah.
like,
That's how I teach my son.
yeah.
Gotta
So start being a
listen.
good follower, and then like you
Yeah.
said, you can get that good back and forth. Because then like, if like in fire world, like you could be like an IC type 2 or type 1, big, IC on big fires, but then you could go to work for somebody like me and I could just be like the crew boss,
Mhm.
and if you were just like micromanaging me because you got less experience, like it's going to go through the crew. I'm not going to be a good leader, and I'm not going to
Yeah,
win.
you
So-
get frustrated. It's not gonna
Yeah.
be beneficial to be kind of productive. Totally.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't, in my opinion, my son's always trying to, be the big boss man and be the leader, and I'm like, dude, you got to learn how to listen in
Yeah.
order to be a good leader. You
Yeah.
gotta know how to listen to a lot of different people, a lot of different things in order to make proper decisions for more than one person.
Absolutely, man. And
Right.
and then you can figure out like your takeaways, right? You're like, I like
Yeah.
that really worked for me. I don't like that, so I'm not going to
Yeah.
use that as my when I become a leader. Because I've had
Right.
a little bit, with the different roles in my life where it's like,
Sure.
whether it be a job, school,
Mhm.
sport, or fire, where it's like
Mhm.
I'm trying to be that good follower sponge, where it's
Mhm.
like I'm like, yeah, I like that. That was really good for me. But
Yeah.
and you can see where it works for the whole group, and then you can see like,
Totally.
you know, something that's a little more like more of a negative leader. You know, you're like,
And
I
they don't
like
really
that.
respect them.
No, yeah, it's
And
more
that's
fear-based
huge,
sometimes, you
right?
know, and the fear-based leadership doesn't
Go very
get,
far.
it doesn't get the results like, you know,
No.
positive.
You're right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
when I
bring
was a ranch
together.
hand, I was a ranch hand in Missouri for a few years, and
Jeez, you've been around, my friend. That's awesome.
and it was a big, huge ranch, and same thing. You know, I could not lead unless I knew how to follow. You know, Brent Jackson, who's more above me, right?
Yeah.
When he wasn't there, though, I had to be able to be a good listener and listen to him really well in order for other people to listen to me.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
know, they wouldn't want to listen to me or help out in the way that I needed them unless I was listening to them and their needs and learn how. Okay, you're not doing really good in there. All right, go there. Right.
Yeah,
You know,
switch it up.
Yeah, exactly. So it's, you know, having that flexibility and understanding instead of just my way or the highway. It's
Yeah.
like you said, it's counterproductive. It doesn't
counterproductive.
It doesn't really work very well. You know, a good leader has to be a good follower for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And, you know, like change it up, like you said. You know, like if something's not working, let's pause real quick. You know, tactical pause they say in the biz, and you know, like see what else we can change to improve this. You know, like whatever it may be.
Totally right, man.
Yeah,
Awesome stuff.
yeah, absolutely. Well, shoot, I don't want to keep you guys too much longer. I mean,
No,
Uh,
it's up to her.
You know
I,
what-
I feel like I gotta get the kids to bed.
yeah,
Okay.
totally. Well, it's
Okay.
Mila's nighttime.
Mila's,
Yeah, totally.
Mila's a wild one.
No,
Wild
like-
woman, Mila. Oh,
yeah,
gosh.
totally.
My 2-year-old.
Yeah, her 2-year-old daughter's,
That's awesome.
she's a little whippersnapper.
Yeah. Oh yeah, high energy, man. That's awesome.
Keeps me on
She's
my
like
toes.
yeah,
She's so
she's-
smart.
Really?
She blows me away. She does her ABCs. She counts up to 10 because
Wow.
she competes with
Big
my
brother.
son,
Oh,
with her
yeah.
brother, her older brother, and so
Yeah.
it's like, oh well, if he can do it, then I can do it.
Yeah,
And
totally.
even better, like I'll show you, Elijah. I'm like, no.
Yeah, and and you see that like a lot in sports too. Like you know, the older sibling will be in the sport, and then the younger sibling will become a better athlete typically because
They want to one up them.
Yeah, yeah, like they're-
Anything you
Exactly,
can do,
my
I can
daughter.
do better.
Yeah.
Right? That stupid song in elementary
Yeah.
school.
I'm not gonna
Yeah,
extinguish that fire. You go, girl. You do
Absolutely,
it. You
yeah.
got it.
yeah, just fan that a little bit, you know.
Every now and then, Dad's got to put the towel on it, but
Yeah, exactly. Bedtime.
Wait,
yeah, definitely.
You know, stoke this fire tomorrow.
Yeah. We'll come back to this. I
Yeah,
promise.
totally.
Yeah, you're getting a little out of control, girl.
Yeah.
Put the hose on you. No, I'm joking.
Yeah. But to wrap this up, what you guys do, like shout out like the classes and what you guys provide in in your business, Internal Bloom, and just stuff that you guys offer, I guess, so folks can like, and where folks can find you. Can you guys cover that real quick?
Yeah.
Why don't you do your body care, honey?
Yeah. Start with that.
So my skincare, I don't know what to say. No,
Do you want me to do it, honey?
Yeah, you go
Are you
first.
done?
Yeah, there you go.
She's tired.
terrible
yeah,
on the
she's-
spot.
she's
I'm just
tired.
like-
No, yeah, my
Okay.
bad. Yeah.
So for I'll do produce and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we work with multiple restaurants from down in Hamilton all the way up. Bitterroot Brewery, Suzette's Organics, Catered Table. Let's see, Sushi Hana, Guild, Trapper Peak,
Oh, geez, you got-
Sourdough.
Yeah.
Bunch of different businesses. You could find us on our website, eternalbloom.net. Find out all sorts of fun stuff there. Our Instagram, Eternal Bloom Montana, and we also do a CSA program through O'Hara.
CSA.
So it's a community supported agriculture kind of deal. O'Hara Commons is a sustainability center in Hamilton. We don't really want to do our own CSA because we really want to support what they're doing and their mission and everything that's going on there.
Yeah.
They're awesome place, O'Hara Commons in Hamilton.
Oh, good. Yeah, I'm glad you did that.
Yeah. And then we might get in some more stores, Hamilton Marketplace, good food store. We're always, we've been doing a lot of building. Yeah, I was doing infrastructure, doing the solar system and doing the underground greenhouse and the hoop houses and stuff like that. So now we're starting to get producing again. I can only do so much, right?
Yeah.
With the family and my health restrictions and everything. So
Yeah, you don't want to push it, especially with the Crohn's.
yeah, well, I mean, I was working like 12 hours a day or something, 10 hours a day doing building in the winter time and on the roof and ice and snow and falling off ladders and stuff. But
Not good for longevity.
no.
Shout out
but
to our chiropractor.
shout out to our chiropractor, Atypical Chiro in Hamilton, Jack.
Yeah, they Thank you, Jack.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jack, for
Yeah.
fixing my back a bunch of times.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then we're gonna try to figure out something for different storefront for ourselves, maybe. But
because like
lots of options for the
'cause
produce.
I heard you guys mentioned earlier. I think about like a stand or something. Like,
Yeah.
man, it'd be
You
kind of
want
cool.
to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like a roadside deal or something.
Yeah, but right now we
Pretty
do microgreens all year long. Like I said, local living soil, more regenerative style. Some of our seeds we grow, some of them we don't, but it's all non-organic certified. And then we do lettuce mixes, a bunch
Yeah.
of different heirloom lettuces, herbs, heirloom tomatoes, chili peppers, bunch of different fun stuff.
Yeah, you said non-organic certified.
It's organic but not certified.
Oh, I got you. I got you. I'm glad
So,
you clarified that.
Yeah. We don't have any USDA certifiers at the moment.
Yeah.
We considered it, but I'll get into that another day. It's kind of interesting. I don't really like that whole system too much. I do believe in organic. I do believe in beyond organic, regenerative, no-till, permaculture, Korean natural probiotic farming and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
we don't really use fertilizers from XYZ grow store or whatever.
Yeah.
We try to produce our own fertilizers and stuff like that.
Huge, man. And like we
Yeah.
talked about, like just more nutrient dense that way, right?
Yeah, exactly. We're soil building, right? We're giving to the soil, and the soil breaks it down and gives it to the plant, and the plant gets it as it's needed, right? And so
Yeah.
we even have pH adjusters. All the probiotics
Oh,
adjust the pH of the plant's needs,
Oh,
right?
cool.
So we're not like sitting there with the probe all the time, and we do check it, and we do
Yeah, of course.
understand. Certain plants really love acidic soil, and
Oh.
yeah, so we can help give it some more acidic. Coffee grinds are acidic and stuff like that,
Oh.
right?
Yeah.
So we can kind of help it out, but the probiotics really aid, and the soil food web is huge.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but for now, a bunch of different restaurants through the valley. Check us out on our website and our Instagram, and she'll talk about body care.
Yeah.
So my skincare can be found at eternalbloom.net, as well as our microgreens and all that cool information about us. Also at Merkaba Within in Hamilton.
Oh, gotcha.
And today I went out and tried to go into Missoula and did a whole bunch of, advertising to them. So hopefully some
Yeah.
places in Missoula soon.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, reach a little bigger audience.
Yes.
Yeah, awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a few other stores in the works, but we're just still working through negotiations. So
Yeah,
we'll
totally.
we'll talk about that soon. But you could also buy it directly from us.
Yeah.
cool.
As well.
Also, you
And
can
then-
always message me in case you don't want to pay for shipping.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I go deliver
Oh, cool.
Bitterroot and
Yeah.
Missoula.
Awesome. And then just like through Instagram or what's the best way to message you?
Yeah, Instagram,
Alright.
Eternal Bloom Apothecary,
Yeah.
or Eternal Bloom Montana. I'm on that page.
Yeah.
He's usually on Instagram and stuff more than me. Just to be
Email.
honest.
Yeah, yeah.
You can even email us at eternalbloommontana or mt@gmail.com.
At
So it's
gmail.com.
eternalbloommt@gmail.com.
Perfect. Yeah, I'm glad you repeated. Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to always say it twice there. And then,
Oh yeah.
yeah. So, and then you're in Eternal Bloom Montana, and then is its own Instagram, and then Eternal Bloom Apothecary.
That's
and
like
it's
my
another one. Yeah.
thing that I talk about, shamanism, indigenous stuff that we do, and plants, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, all the good stuff for sure. Yeah, it's important, And then, there's one other thing I wanted to make sure that we covered before we signed off. Oh man, I was thinking about the good stuff. Man, what was it? I don't want to leave it. Oh man. So I'm trying to think of something else you guys do, and I was gonna like.
Oh yeah, we do.
Oh, the
solar
classes.
Classes.
Solar and classes. Yeah.
Permaculture consults for homestead design, greenhouse design, hugelkulturs, raised beds. I can't build them. I'm not gonna lie, a little too overwhelmed with all the other stuff, but I could definitely help people out and consult and
I was gonna say consults.
and give some ideas. I'm not perfect, like I said, but I'm happy to share what I have, and I'm always learning every day.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, totally. And the
yeah.
more people that do it, the more you can kind of perfect it. I don't think there's ever like perfection, but you can like get closer, and
Yeah.
especially like building kind of most of you guys, but I'm kind of like building it too, like a community,
Yeah.
and as as the community builds and people like work on stuff and share their knowledge, we'll all get better, especially like in the growing,
Yeah.
Well, man, I really appreciate you guys having on. You guys have
Yeah,
anything
no
else?
problem. Yeah, I mean, if off-grid systems as well, solar
Oh, yeah.
systems. My friend Chris Colley, shout him out too.
Yeah, Chris Colley.
Chris Colley, Collie dog. Yeah, he's an awesome solar engineer and a salesman and everything. He's got some amazing products that I help with.
Oh, cool.
But he's definitely the mastermind behind the solar side.
Yeah, that helps. Like you're talking like the mana.
It takes a village, takes a
Yeah.
team.
It does.
You know, he's the solar guru, and I know a lot about it too. But without Chris, I definitely would not have all of the knowledge I have. And talking to different solar engineers and stuff like that. Also, I got a good buddy, Matt Black in Idaho, who's a solar engineer as well. So got a cool little team we're trying to build.
Yeah, cool, man.
Yeah,
And
so we do solar consults and solar building and panels and inverters and the whole 9 yards.
Oh, awesome, man.
Yep.
Yeah, especially like in the, we get pretty good sunshine here, so like good places.
Yeah, about 4.7 hours or so is the average throughout the year.
Yeah.
And then of course, the summertime sometimes a lot more.
Goes
but
way up,
that's the average. You want to try to average it over the year, right?
Oh, smart, yeah.
Yeah, to try to get a better understanding.
Yeah, and a power base like planned on that, right? Like for the power needs.
Yep, exactly.
Awesome.
But we could help with that, like I said,
Yeah.
or Chris could help if you don't want to talk to me. I'm happy just supporting him. It's totally fine.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, we're all in together.
Yeah, definitely.
I really appreciate you guys meeting me
Yeah,
and coming out.
appreciate you too.
Yeah,
We
thanks a ton.
appreciate
Thanks
you.
for what you guys do.
Yeah.
And man, it's a great podcast. It's about like love and support and help. Like it's. I think it's neat, man. You can't have enough of this in the world. So.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Need the open space too to talk about these type of things.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, for all the stuff that you guys listed, anyone needs it, look them up. And yeah, thanks again. We'll do another one.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Thank
Yeah.
you.